Big week on the economic calendar kicking off this week. We'll get an inflation reading coming up tomorrow morning at this time, 8:30 CPI for last month. Going to be a big print for the overall market. That's how the Nasdaq's shaping up right now. A little bit to the downside coming off back-to-back decent days heading into the weekend. We ended last week basically a little bit higher, but basically where we started coming off the back end of earnings season as well. We'll get a few more this week, a few more notable names coming up as well, with NVIDIA included in that. Speaking of NVIDIA and AMD, going to be in focus not only today, but I think for the next couple of days here until we get more clarity on this. The initial move kind of shrugged off here this morning. NVIDIA shares back to almost where we traded on Friday. Yeah, still negative on the morning, but well off the lows. There's a slight fly problem in here this morning, so just be prepared for that. Adair's with me this morning. Sharif with day off today. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to be back here, Brendan. The flies are a little less pleasant, but we will certainly get through them. I want to say as well, in addition to this NVIDIA AMD story, which is very interesting, Intel on watch. Lip-Bu Tan apparently visiting the White House. We'll have to wait and see if that's on camera or not, but that could be pretty interesting. We have Micron increasing its guidance, C3 AI majorly decreasing their guidance. So there's a lot to discuss this morning.
Yeah, Lip-Bu Tan getting called to the principal's office today. We'll see how President Trump discusses this. As you said, will it be a on-camera type situation or will it be off-camera? And then we'll get the results of that later on in the day. I'm sure Intel shares just kind of chopping around here this morning a little bit higher to start things off. All eyes on the semiconductor group, though. AMD as well, looking very similar too. NVIDIA shares downside ever so slightly to start the week, but more to come potentially on this. If you missed it, again, both set to pay 15% tax to the U.S. government for the rights to sell chips into China. The H20 for NVIDIA and AMD. I think it's still going to be to come as far as how that's going to be applied to AMD, but both falling into that that circumstance so far this morning. So you mentioned C3 AI, the other big mover so far this morning, absolutely crushed right now to $15 on a revision of forward guidance.
Yeah, I have a lot more to say about this one going forward. The CEO note, especially from Tom Siebel, was very, very interesting. But long story short, they are looking for a new CEO. Tom Siebel, the current CEO, has admitted he's having some health issues with his vision and otherwise that are apparently impacting the company's ability to sell, which I wasn't expecting. They also had some reorganizational disruptions, which led to these sales being what they were, because this guidance is not great, guys.
Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen big moves in the pre-market for one reason or another. Turns out most of the time that tends to be a little bit liquidity related more than the actual news story itself. Whether this will be the case or not, we'll see. Down big time here, guys, though. Happy Monday.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. It was ridiculously hot here.
Yeah, it continues.
Oh man, the heat's like still ridiculous here today. Well, the heat's on AI. The heat's on. There's more earnings this week as well. Like after the bell, we're gonna get some interesting ones. But I was surprised that AMC reported before the bell. Was expecting them, I think, after the bucket. Didn't really move too much. The cannabis names are in play today as more talk of rescheduling. So maybe this is gonna be the day for things like Tilray or CGC. But wow, what a move in Bitcoin over the weekend. That's a big story. Look, we've been talking about crypto for a while, but almost to that all-time high. You were well above the 120 mark on BTC, ETH making a big power move. So lots happened over the weekend. Now the chips are going to be back as long as they pay up. It's such a weird precedent. Like just give a percentage of your revenue if you want to be able to sell anything. But at the end of the day, you saw like that big write down that NVIDIA was taking. They just want to be able to sell the chips. So it's better to pay something and be able to sell that $4.5 billion in extra inventory they have than the alternative. So I think it's ultimately, it seems like it's ultimately somewhat good news, even if the initial hit was, well, they're going to have to pay 15%, so they're down a bit here. Not too bad.
I mean, they're at all-time highs, so whenever you're at all-time highs, you'll get a little bit of a kickback. And what's up to you guys in the chat? They were mentioning that this move on Apple on Friday. I'm sure Neil and Obi were part of this one. This was 220 break. I mean, that's something that, and you guys are right. Like this would be right on the radar right there. Huge move up for Apple, up $10, almost in a complete straight line. So that could have been a trade there. I know Obi was mentioning some stuff, but yeah, we're back here. It's 228 right now for Apple. It's down there a little bit today. I don't know. The Nasdaq's giving me some kind of ways here. We'll wait to figure out what we want to do with it. Yeah, what's up, dear Ollie? I can't wait to get you the sticky note today. We'll get some good notes on there. I really like what Adair was talking about with Micron. I think that was something that was pretty fun to look at here, up to 125. So that's up 5%. So that's a nice move right there, trying to break through some of these highs. So we'll see if we fade that 130 or not, if we can get up to there. That's a big move to get up there so far. We were, Joe was mentioning, we almost ran into each other. My daughter played 5 hockey games this weekend, 1 baseball game. And the one game that I didn't go to, Joe apparently was at the same arena. So yeah, might have saw Marissa there. So it's too bad. Yeah, because I would have loved to see him there. But yeah, so that was over there at Ford. That was really busy. I think it was over almost 100 teams or something in this one tournament that she was in. But you don't realize how much you like the hockey instead of baseball because of the weather. You get to chill out indoors and wear sweaters instead of dying to death. We had a game yesterday outdoors, 5 o'clock start time for baseball, so it wasn't too bad. But it was hot.
Hot, even at 5 o'clock. Of course, like we finished our it was a year end for our baseball on Saturday, and the second we finish the game, we leave. They do all the presentations and get pizza for the kids after. And she's like, we went to the store to buy basketball. She was like, she need new basketball.
Yeah.
So it was like, on to the next. But then the day after, when I told her that the next year, because the next year it's coach pitch, but then the other inning is player pitch. So the second she found out the next year the kids get to pitch, he's like, Daddy, let's go practice pitching outside.
Right.
So yesterday in like the ridiculous heat, I wasn't even moving. I'm just sitting there crouched and catching a ball and throwing it back, and I was drenched sweat. It was ridiculous.
I think it might have been one of the first times that we wore shorts as coaches yesterday.
You had to. It was way too hot otherwise.
Warm. How's it going, everybody? It's Monday. It's 8:37 right now.
It is.
Sharif off sick. So.
On that ladder fell down.
The ladder fell on Sharif?
No, that one.
Oh. Yeah, we have, there's been flies rolling around here. And with all the construction, I believe, doors have been left open and this and that. So we've got some fly traps.
I forgot to bring like 20 of them.
I forgot to bring my chopsticks.
Mr. Miyagi.
A fly. Anyways, yeah, Micron's on my mind over here right now. We finally watched that Heads of State. It was pretty good, actually. The kids both liked it with Cena and Idris Elba. Yeah, it's not as comedy. It's more like.
I thought it looked funny.
There are some funny spots, I think, but it's more like an adventure, action comedy, as Marissa mentioned it.
I'll take it.
There, but you know what I'm watching more and more is that Unreal. It's the WWE Netflix. It's really great, man. They're talking about Elimination Chamber, which I was at, and it's pretty cool to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. Wrestling stuff is real serious, man. It's not like anything else because you can't. Oh yeah, my son's at talk about being hot tonight. My son's at golf camp today for half day, so he's gonna have that. That's outdoors. That's gonna be fun. No, it's about there's a lot of politics in it, of course, right? And so it's not just like, you hit some home runs, you get starting next play, or you score some goals, you get more ice time. It's pretty interesting to see all that. I mean, I'm a big fan of wrestling, obviously, for a long time. Oh, and we went to VaughnCon. Shout out to VaughnCon. It's like a gangster Comic-Con.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like the one up in Vaughan. So Vaughan is a city above Toronto, the city of Vaughan. Who remembers that song? Nobody. All right, cool. So, anyways.
Usually I'd
Yeah. So Vaughan, So, and you know who was there, but we missed him? Bret the Hitman Hart.
Get out of here.
Yeah, there was a big line there, and
there?
Yeah, I thought we were like, I must have only been there for a half hour, but there was all these like wrestling guys there.
Hitman.
It's really funny to see like 50, 60-year-old dudes that are, quite clearly out of shape, wearing wrestling belts, walking around trying to grab autographs. I'm like, oh, damn, hopefully I'm not like that. But this one guy, actually funny, this one guy had all of these Pokemon cards, like they're so full of booths.
Right.
Because it's like a card show, basically, is what it is at the end of the day. Oh, and by the way, all these people dressed up as LARPs and like all this like, people dressing up as different characters, costume people.
That's what it's about, though.
Those people scare the shit
They
out of
don't
me.
mess around, man.
Yeah, they scare. We're walking around and I look over, some guy's dressed as Wolverine. There's some guy dressed as like serious Batman, like all full Batmaned out. And then there's these anime people that I have no idea what, like I don't trust walking around one of these Comic-Con. Like I can't look at these because they're serious.
Were there any of the
I'm looking at
K-pop teen hunter?
Yes, there was a whole like demon hunters. I don't know what the hell there was. There was a whole bunch of these people there.
Those songs are catchy,
and you know, like honestly, they have huge I was gonna say the word I'm looking for is balls, but I'm looking for something more appropriate. Like to be able to walk around like that with that much confidence, I'm just like, wow.
The one downtown, I mean,
yeah, it's a little more
I've been
crazy.
around when it happens downtown. Like I haven't gone to it, but it's intense.
Yeah, these role play, these costumes are serious.
Some of the costumes, it's like so much effort gets put into it.
It's like I'm a little uncomfortable just seeing how serious these people are. I was like, oh my gosh.
Actually, I got this funny feeling that maybe Michael Noss, maybe he's like the type to dress up as Wolverine. He's got that look. He's
Michael
got the
Noss?
Wolverine look.
I thought he was kind of Wolverine.
He is Wolverine.
I think you're now spoiling
I'm just saying, he is Wolverine.
Is like his alter ego over there. But anyways, this one guy had a rack of cards. They all had different, available for sale. This card, 20,000, 15,000, 10,000. So I was looking at the thing. I think there was over a couple $100,000 at least they wanted in cards. So I was talking to the guy, and he didn't. Obviously, we didn't talk about what I was doing right there or what I do, but he's like, it's like the stock market. He's like, he just invests all his money in all these cards, and some go up in value. Yeah. Some go down in value. And he said he's been doing pretty good about it. So I think it's all. Yeah, it's like if you know what you're doing, similar to all of this kind of stuff. But anyways, it was a lot of fun. So there you go. So I went to a hockey, baseball, Comic-Con, and volleyball is. Oh, we have a baseball game tonight. Volleyball. Anyways, the kids are just running.
I think we're doing a call-up game tonight.
Yeah. That's fun. Oh, call-ups are fun.
Yeah, I think it's playoffs for the 9U, so I think she's gonna play.
She's gonna play. Yeah, you should definitely play as a call-up. But all right, there it is. Let's go back to the desk and see what Wolverine himself has to say.
I'm counting flies. Let's bring in Michael Noss here and get a look at a few things on the market. I was just actually keeping an eye on TKO, Mr. Noss. Not that you'd probably care about this, but Paramount is paying this company $7.7 billion to stream UFC events for the next, I think it was 6 or 7 years. So, but $1 billion a year for streaming rights of UFC. So TKO up a bit. I didn't look at Paramount, but you want to talk about rotation. I'm not necessarily convinced that people would be rotating into the UFCs and the Paramounts of the world, but you never know. But what area, Mr. Noss, are we going to be rotating into?
Hopefully small caps. I don't know how many times I've been teased by this, but I think I might have some data to back it up this time. And the reason we joke is if you go back and look at the chart of the IWM, we've gone absolutely nowhere for like 6+ years. It's really been a large cap tech rally. But looking at some of the positioning data, that might be open for a little bit of change. So first of all, I want to just take a look, and we'll start with the ES here and talk about a little bit of what we're looking at with this kind of lower indicator, which is the commitment of traders data. So I talk about it a fair amount here. It's one of my favorite data sources because I don't really care about a survey. I don't care if you tell me that you're bearish or you're bullish. This shows the actual positioning of futures traders, long and short. If you trade futures, are in this data. The broker just reports it automatically once a week. And one of the things that I've been kind of pounding the table and talking about for a long time is that the reason that I believe this rally is just unstoppable, and every time we get any sort of a dip down in the S&P 500, we get a buy, because we're looking at this red line, and this is the average or the net positioning data on the ES, and they're short. And they're short pretty substantially. And if you look at the red line in particular, the red line is going down as the chart is going up. So not only have they been short, they've been shorting into this rally. So as this rally continues, more and more people have been piling onto the short side, which obviously has not been working for them. I like to leave the green line in there because that's the small speculators, that's us. And generally, if you read the books, we're considered the dumb money, but I'd just like to point out that they have been buying the whole time. So this one, one up on retail and not so much for the big institutions. Now, I've been talking about this ad nauseum. I believe until this resolves itself, every kind of dip, it has to be bought. We could have more of these short squeezes that we're seeing. But today, in particular, I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper from just the S&P 500 and give you some idea of why some rotation may be coming into play. So this is the NQ, or the Nasdaq 100. And they haven't been short the Nasdaq 100. In fact, they've been buying the Nasdaq 100 as it's moved higher. Both the red line, which is the large speculators, and the green line, which is the small guys. They've been making a lot of money in this trade. They were late, but they've been buying. Now let's go to the next chart, which is the small caps. And not only have they been shorting the entire time and selling more and more contracts, more short the IWM, or the Russell, today than it has been in years. So when the last data report came in, they shorted so much into that data. So why do I think that this could set up for rotation? Well, if you think about it, if you're one of these large speculators and you have a long on the NQ and a short on the Russell, at some point to pay yourself, you have to resolve that trade. And that means selling the NASDAQ, which is, mainly comprised of these names that we know, the NVIDIAs and Netflixes and Metas and all of that of the world. And you would have to take that profit and cover the Russell. And very particularly if the Russell continues to move higher, which it has, you may be forced to cover that, and then you may be forced to sell your NASDAQ to get out of that position as well. So the boat is kind of very heavy. Everyone's over on one side of the boat, and quite often that can lead to some kind of disastrous. You get one hedge fund exploding, and then a whole trickle down can happen there. So that would cause, again, some maybe selling of that NASDAQ position and pulling those big cap techs down a little bit, and then pulling back up these Russell. So your little guys, your small banks, your biotechs, things like that. I've been seeing more and more of this data that's made me interesting. The fact that price is confirming, again, this is a weekly chart of the Russell, has been doing very well, not near all-time highs like everything else, but getting there makes me think we may be due. And then last but not least, I wanted to show here Bitcoin with the same thing, that, this was taken on Sunday night and we rallied pretty significantly since then. I see we're kind of flirting with 120. We were 123 at some point on Bitcoin, and you can see that they are still net short, and they've been shorting a little bit more. So as of last week's candle, they shorted, and now we've kind of broken out to this new high as well. So I love, this is the equivalent of looking at short squeezes in individual equities. We're just doing it across all of the futures data that's out there. And you better believe that if the US futures market's like this, then the rest of the futures markets are pretty closely tied. And then also the ETF market is going to be about the same. So maybe, keep your eye on small caps. I know I've been kind of beating this dead horse and not been correct for a long time, but I feel like the day is coming where it's funny, if you read all of the textbooks from like Pharma French and all of that, we're supposed to have this thing called the small cap premium, where because they're more risky assets, we're supposed to get a little bit of a premium in owning them. And that just has not taken place for like 6 years. So maybe the day is coming when this kind of position unwinds.
Just focusing on that NASDAQ chart, just for 2 seconds here, there's been so many headlines that have, and so many people with opinions, I guess, surrounding not only the NASDAQ, but the top 7 companies that we talk about so much, and how much that has been the reason for the buying and the reason for the rally in the overall market. Could it just be more a weighting issue, S&P specifically versus the NASDAQ? And then, Russell, set that aside. I don't think anyone's really, terrible or trying to make the argument that all three go together. But specifically the S&P and the NASDAQ, could that just be more of a weighting issue at this point?
Yeah, it feels like it's either a waiting kind of thing or a pairs trade where, it makes sense if you just sit back and think about it and say, if you believe, and they've been right to do so, that you're going to get this dramatic outperformance in those big names, you could either buy those big names, or with all the advantages we know futures have with leverage and tax and all of this stuff, you could really leverage yourself up into a long NASDAQ position. But then maybe you're worried about some sort of, another tariff tantrum or something like that. So then you would short potentially what's been the weakest of the indexes overall. So you're buying your Nasdaq and then you're offsetting that a little bit. And if you look at the numbers, about 33,000 net contracts long on the Nasdaq and only 7,000 contracts net short on the Russell. So they're not offsetting their entire position, but they're just offsetting some of their position. So again, the trade has been working and the trade makes perfect sense. I want to be long the best guys out there. I want to be short some things that haven't really participated outside of that. Now, what I think is going to be the determining factor is some sort of interest rate change, because as we know, the small caps, they're very interest rate sensitive. The large caps, they don't really care about interest rates. So when you get this, at some point, this kind of pairs trade, you could call it, is going to potentially unwind. And that could, again, cause this rotation. But yeah, it's definitely a waiting thing. It's definitely saying, I want to be long these big names. The Nasdaq is pretty much exclusively. The other 80 stocks could go bankrupt. But if, NVIDIA, AMD, all these ones are shooting higher, that trade will work out, and then shorting that against something that has been very relatively weak for a long time.
Mark this day down. It was the day that we got Michael Noss to mention interest rates as a non-technical reason for the market to be moving. No, I think you're bang on that. There's been so many reasons as to why the market should have potentially maybe gone down. Tariffs, another one, and uncertainty, just on a global standpoint. But it just continues to march higher. There's this never-ending supply of buyers. So at some point, I think what you're saying does play out. When that will be, maybe it has to be around an interest rate directional change here at least. So great stuff.
Maybe
as always.
September.
Yeah, we'll say maybe December at this point, but one of those, anyways. Michael Noss,
when
back
he
with
gets
us.
bullied enough on Twitter, then that's probably what will happen.
Yeah. One side or the other. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Noss back with us after the close tonight. We'll see you then.
Talk to you then.
Yeah, see you then, Michael. Looking forward to it. And speaking of the interest rates, well, the odds were 93% for the back half of last week. I think it was maybe on Wednesday or Thursday we hit that, and we more or less stayed there. Back down to 86. So still pricing in that we're going to get a rate cut in September, but maybe not as sure a thing as it was a couple of days ago. We're still leaning toward thinking we're going to get it. And obviously that's going to be a big deal for the IWM, like small caps. Hey, man, small caps want low rates. That's the reality. But this is it's a trade that's waiting to get off the schneid. And I think a lot of times, when we talk about bottom picking stocks, it's like, well, wait for it to show you like the roundy face. Well, maybe this will actually show you a breakout of some kind that you just join, because it's not really doing a heck of a lot. Ari Pages in the chat was asking about like a trend break on HIMS that we were talking about. I'm like, yeah, great. It's testing the trend. It's just not doing anything off of it yet. So sometimes you can have the thing you're looking for, the indicator, whatever it might be, but you need to see the action start to come. And you're not just going to sit there anticipating it every single day. I mean, I hope we get the rate cut. I think obviously at this point, it's almost locked in. I'm still not sure why we got that 7% decrease, though, over the weekend. Yeah, it doesn't really, I don't know what really changed over the weekend to cause that. But let's get to see what the upgrades and downgrades boards say.
Beauty on here for the second day in a row, getting a upgrade from Morgan Stanley with a $134 price target. SoundHound AI, day 2 earnings play. Ladenburg Thalmann upgrading this one. Generac getting a couple upgrades this morning, one of them here from JP Morgan, and Cummins with an upgrade here from Wolf Research. On the downgrade side of things, not surprisingly, C3 AI getting a negative note after that very disappointing preliminary earnings we got this morning. This negative note coming from D8 Davidson. The trade desk getting its price target halved from $100 to $50 from Jefferies. This is not the only downgrade for this stock. So TGD, lots of negative sentiment heading for this day 2 earnings name. Then we have Adobe getting a downgrade from Milius this morning. Last but not least, Aspen Aerogels down about 4% with a negative note from Barclays. Back to you.
We better drink these before. Cheers. We better drink these before.
Chug it before the flies get in there?
Oh.
That's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, so for me on there, oh boy. Oh yeah, it was Elf Cosmetics. I feel like I should be buying some of this at least. With my daughter's birthday actually tomorrow, I already know that they're going to be going to Sephora.
Nice.
first thing probably, and we have a whole bunch. You ever heard of Labubus?
No, well, I feel like I'm going to in a few years, apparently.
I don't even know. They're like they're like $150 little stupid things that you attach to like your bags and you carry them around. I don't know. Anybody in the chat heard of these Labubus before? Like, you heard? Oh, Andre knows all about them. I should just bought a fake Labubu. Can't believe we're talking about this. But right there, $100 on Elf. I mean, you know, we had earnings. They came right back into such a great level there, Elf Cosmetics. So, I mean, 99, 105, 125, 135. Like, you know, with the upgrade here, I think it's set to go. You know, to review the quarter would be one thing, but we've already now seen it sort of make these moves back into the 200 period moving average. Again, you know, I think the products are probably pretty legit there. I know they're made in China, I guess. But, you know, with this tariff talk, it seems to be getting better. I don't think anything's going to be as bad as we were on Liberation Day. But I like Elf Cosmetics, especially bouncing off that 105 area. So I think if you go, like, I mean, what's wrong with this trade? You go long here at 105 and you get out if it breaks 100. I mean, I think that's a pretty great 5% risk for, you know, what potentially could be something else, a double up, basically. Getting back to highs, right? I mean, we can see in stocks like Carvana, SoFi, Uber, like a lot of stocks, Google is another example that have, you know, fallen back in, and we didn't think that highs would be there. But, you know, a stock like Elf Cosmetics, I mean, look at DraftKings, look at Roblox, some of these newer names that have come to market, you know, continue to work out. You know, they're, I like them, and I was going to go, I saw you're on TTD as well, so that would be another name. Out of all 8 of them, it'd be these 2 that I'd have my eye on.
Yeah, Trade Desk. Look, Trade Desk was the one that got squashed to the downside after earnings on Friday. So, I mean, downgrade doesn't necessarily surprise anybody. That said, we've talked about this before, like the continuation play. Like when you see something like this, until it proves it's got some kind of momentum to the upside, still favor the short. It's still some room to go to get to a 52-week low. Like you'd have to drop like 20% today to even tag that. So it's got a lot of room till you get to obvious support. It was a simple VWAP type of morning on the Trade Desk, and if it does anything similar to that, like if I see it rejecting VWAP, it's like just continuation to the downside for them, at least temporarily. I think, you know, the comparison game has been made, and ultimately, you know, when you have the slightest weakness in earnings, whether it be advertising, Amazon had this issue with their cloud comparison to Microsoft. Comparison to Google, you can call it unfair, but this is what happens, and you have to wait until the buyers start to come in. We did get a couple of super chats here, and Mr. Westermeyer, you got caught in IOBT halt. Was that over like on Friday? Did it halt? I'm curious. It was halted on news, maybe. Well, it's open back up now, so good luck with that one. This is one of those like it was a gapper, and then I guess it halted in the pre-market on news. But you always have to be careful. Be careful with these small cappers. They can be very, very dangerous. And options indeed. Thoughts on MP this week. Thanks, guys. Remember what is happening this week. You've got the deadline, which, I don't know, I guess we're thinking it'll be extended. China, US, they're a little bit of a pause or reprieve or truce, whatever you want to call it. That could get extended for another 90 days. That's the early speculation. I think if it gets delayed, that could end up being a good thing for MP. If they get a deal and any of it involves more flow or just easier access to rare earth materials and magnets from China, then this could weigh on the stock a little bit. It's been running pretty heavily. So the D-Day for them is really tomorrow. I'd expect an extension, but you absolutely never know. Like to me, ringing the register on some makes some sense here for MP. It's been on an absolute tear, that stock.
I didn't realize that the boo-boos would tear up the chat the way they did. So shout out to everybody that has heard of Labubu's before, maybe entering our household next couple days. Yeah, that Trade Desk down to $55, even lower, 53. Yeah, it's a good level there for sure. Yeah. Oh, and I heard you guys had tacos there on Friday. That was a nice one.
Yeah, they were okay.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
They were a little small, and you only get, like, for us on the plate, like, you get, like, 2 little small ones.
You got them, they were on the plate for us.
Yeah, for the salad lunch. But, like, they were super tiny. They were still good.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to complain over tacos, but
I was talking.
I was still kind of hungry.
I was talking with Russell. Like I was spray painting everywhere around here, but he wasn't wearing a mask. So I was like, "Come on, dude! Like, this guy's getting high on his own supply over here." So no wonder why there's spray paint everywhere. I was joking. Great job, Russell. Okay. 19.6 right now, 119.6 for Bitcoin. So that should be fun. We'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I just have it down here. I'm still looking at Micron up here, watching out for 125. See if there's any sort of an actionable trade coming through. I don't know about taking something in the pre-market. You're still a half hour away right now. I don't know what the bigger trades potentially were on Friday, but we had Apple right here. Today, trying to break out through that 230 again. We'll see. I completely stopped at 231. We'll see if that gets going. I'm not sure I'm in love with it today, down 0.48 against a market that's flat. So anyways, all right, Sharif off today while not feeling well. Hopefully be back in tomorrow. Hopefully you're feeling well, Sharif, if you're watching this. Adara and Brendan over at the big desk.
Into everything else we need to know here this morning, we'll kick things off with a look at the watch list. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. Takes 2 seconds. Grab that. It's absolutely free. Again, all you need is your email, and then that just shows up every single morning in your inbox from Miss Adara to the left of me. Just real quick, PSKY, remember, is now how you look at Paramount after this deal gets done. Did pop up on that TKO news early on this morning. We're right back down to essentially where we started. But yeah, let's talk NVIDIA. Let's talk AMD here. Big day, big potential week here maybe. I mean, Neil, you were just touching on the China aspect and the rare earths aspect. Essentially, if you think about it from that standpoint, Trump saying, yeah, you can go sell H20s in China, but what happens if China then says, you're not going to get any battery metals until you give us the good stuff, not the 4-year-old or the 4th generation at this point of these chips. So I think there's still more to come on this.
Well, now I think, Brendan, a bigger concern as well is that we actually have the Chinese government saying they're worried about H20s having some kind of back door. So that's another issue. They may not even want these if they're able to sell them. But nonetheless, according to the Financial Times, in exchange for 15% of revenue, the U.S. will allow NVIDIA to transport its H20 chips to China. AMD would be able to transport its MI308 chips to China. Now, it's interesting as well. I reported this maybe a week and a half ago. It wasn't a huge story at the time, but I was seeing a report that apparently the Commerce Department was having a lot of issues with getting these export licenses out to companies like NVIDIA and AMD. They'd finished their applications, but they weren't able to send the chips. So now maybe this, I guess 15% was maybe part of why we had the Commerce Department waiting. It seems like whatever issues there are hopefully resolved as long as we have NVIDIA and AMD paying this 15% revenue. NVIDIA actually addressed this, saying that they follow the rules that the U.S. government sets out for their participation in worldwide markets. So it seems like they're going to comply. Yeah,
15%, not a little amount either. Yeah. And the other question to ask here is, what precedent does this set then for the rest of industry as a whole going forward if they comply and then just start paying that? I'm just reading a quote here real quick, guys, on Barrick Gold CEO coming out saying essentially these gold tariffs or gold transfer tariffs that came into effect end of last week, causing quote unquote confusion in the industry, and they're basically sitting on their hands until they understand a little bit further what this actually means. This is a daily chart. If you remember, we got to all-time highs initially on that headline. Quick reversal. We're down a little bit, ever so slightly here on that news today as well. So 2.3% for gold stocks could be a little bit volatile today as well.
Yeah, that was a weird one because I thought they said the White House was like that was not true and it's misinformation, the gold tariff thing. So I don't know. The fact that it's still moving on that makes...
I mean, gold is outperforming the S&P 500 like easily over the last 30 years now.
But I mean, anyways, we'll see. Well, there'll probably be clarification on that at some point. But as far as the chips go, NVIDIA was marching back up to maybe get back to some of those highs, and I will say it's doing better than AMD. And as Brendan mentioned, look, the deal, or we're probably not assuming a deal is going to get done. A comprehensive deal with China is not getting done in the next 24 hours. Like, I think what we're looking for here is progress, something that extends the deadline for another 90 days, I guess, would be the look. And if these guys have to pay 15% to be able to make revenue they wouldn't already make, then that's better. That's better than nothing. Unfortunately, when you're at all-time highs, it just gets seen as like, oh, that's a little bit of a ding. We thought you'd be able to sell those 4.5 billion. Now all of a sudden you're going to get 6 or 7 billion less out of it, so you get a little bit of a ding for NVIDIA. Even though in theory that's kind of good news because you're getting rid of inventory with this. So at the end of the day, I'd probably look for the buy dip here, and NVIDIA's got 179 pegged. You had no chance to see that on Friday, but on Thursday it was prior close, prior day resistance area, and if we do decide that we're selling off, then NVIDIA at 79 makes sense to me. The 184 is, because we're not really trending toward a breakout, I might even look for a reversion up there at the 184. But really, in the chip space, Micron, with that updated guidance, is the strong player here. Like, this was a stock which was primed for a breakout regardless of this news. With the revised guidance, and I don't know if we'll get to that one. I don't see it on the list, so we can mention it now. Like, it looked like it closed above the 50-period moving average, a couple of strong trend days to the upside. If it can break 26, it's got room. But the other way to look at it, and what I threw down in the note, was just play the trend. It's been up multiple days in a row. It was a trend trade along VWAP. You think somebody knew something on Micron? Remember on Friday, we were like, why is Micron so strong today? There was no news. And we're like, it's the only thing going, and it's just trending up, and it's like, why is it so strong? And then all of a sudden, now we figure out that they updated their guidance. So the buy program, quote unquote, clearly knew that the guidance was going to be good, and we'll go trying to buy some dips here today.
Look,
but usually you get the answer as to why those things happen after the fact, and it looks like we did here.
You and I have gone back and forth about this market being rigged. I know we have some different opinions, but that's a good example right there, as well as Apple. I mean, if you see Apple's action before that news, it was the same shit. So same stuff. All right. So yeah, look, I'm actually not that impressed here. I mean, the government just, like, as long as there's money being thrown around, they can solve all problems, it looks like. We don't want China to get too strong, do we? But if we're going to pay 15%, then they can do whatever they want. Now, I know it's not the updated chips, and I think that that's a good sign, but NVIDIA doesn't like this story for some reason, and it's making the move down here. So I don't ever want to give back profits, and it looks like that's what's going to have to happen right now in order for this to be a thing. It looks very, very vulnerable here, dropping below this 181 to 150. So for me, this is a problem on NVIDIA, on AMD. They're all the same. It's just like, I don't want, it's like part of me as being I think NVIDIA is probably my largest holding right now, just in all my accounts, across all accounts. I'm thinking about getting lighter on it, but then I don't want to sell NVIDIA. It's one of those things. It's like I have that Palantir 195 pegged, right? I don't know if it gets there. We probably should start to sell some of that. And I'm kind of feeling same kind of ways here for NVIDIA. Huge move up. We're through earnings season. And it's just every day. It was 5% last week, 5% in a week. Nothing wrong with taking a little bit off and seeing if it can slow down. But the problem with taking something off these stocks is that it's so hard to get back in, because when do you do that? And then the next story is higher, and you feel like, oh man, I'm now getting in higher, than where I had sold. But right now, AMD is the one that's taking the brunt of this just a little bit more. It's down double what that of NVIDIA is down. So for me, we're short. We're short today. We have to be short these names right now. Unless the market absolutely burns upside, then I would say these are shorts, and we're just going to wait for it to give us a top. Right now, AMD looks like 171, and NVIDIA looks like a break of 181. So I feel pretty good about both of those plays, but not something immediately. As Neil just mentioned here, 125 for Micron. I know it's a huge move up, but it's almost, it is now a double from that bottom. And yeah, it does look like it's getting a lot stronger here. Breaking down from that 50-period moving average, which is right here, the pink, and then holding out to the 200. For me, Micron is right there, and Micron is the number one. You guys can go find it right now. I see there's already some people that have liked it. How do I go to my profile? Right into here. But yeah, we have Micron once it loads right here. I don't know if our internet's slow or what, but there it is. 123 VWAP. If it comes back in, we can look at that. Or a 125.50, which is the pre-market break. So that's going to be the top trade idea that I have right now today, is going to be Micron. So we're all over that one. If it breaks 125.50, I'm in. And we'll be in it hopefully pretty strong off the open. And we'll give that to like about a 120. maybe 124.50 again. I like to see where VWAP is once we open up. Scary thought to get punched in immediately, but it's been working out, but we are very aware that these imbalances can have quite an effect on all of the stocks that we're going to be talking about. So like there's MP Metals right down there. We have AMC right here was a 400,000 buy as well, up 5% on earnings. So we'll pay attention to all this, but Micron for me is the trade of the day. Look, and the other thing is, I see a lot of people sort of spamming BBAI. Like I know I talked about this name down at $3 and it went to $8 and it's a huge winner and we've talked about all of this stuff, but they report tonight. So you're going to be having to wait for Big Bear AI. I mean, if you want to trade it today, there's 500,000 shares right there at 95. So someone's buying this thing before earnings right now, right? 500,000 shares, and that's a visible order sitting there at 95. So I don't know, man. I'm already long. The question really is, are you guys? Earnings tonight, Big Bear AI.
To Intel to the upside this morning so far in pre-market trading, but more to come potentially throughout the day today. If you missed it again, CEO going to be at the White House for a meeting with President Trump to discuss, I don't know, things, how his weekend was maybe, what he did on his holiday.
Very likely not that. It is much more likely going to be about any potential conflicts of interest ties that Lip-Bu-Tan does have. There's also the potential, we were discussing this off camera, and this has been discussed as well in this initial report from the Wall Street Journal, but there's a very good chance Lip-Bu-Tan and Donald Trump will be talking about whether or not Lip-Bu-Tan and Intel will be investing further in the U.S., because that could be pretty much a surefire way to quiet down some of Trump's criticism.
Seems like that's how things go.
That seems like it's how it's going to go. But I was saying to Brendan as well off camera, I was looking a bit into Reuters' reporting on these different firms that Lip-Bu-Tan has had connections to in the past. I would say two of the more damning would be his connection to Walden International, through which he invested in SMIC. Literally, the year it was founded in 2001. He served on their board until 2018, but he didn't exit his investment until 2021. That is a year after the company was placed under U.S. government sanctions, so that could be a bit dicey. He's also apparently the sole owner of Sicaria Limited. That is a Hong Kong holding company that invests in 38 Chinese firms, actually controlling these firms. And that being said, I haven't really seen any clear sign that these companies are involved in military investment. I think that's really what the government's worried about. But either way, there are some potential causes for concern.
Whether this will be an on-camera event or not remains to be seen. We'll bring that to you live as it happens, obviously, if it is. I was just checking CoreWeave here, guys. After the close of tomorrow night, we'll get earnings from CRWV. A couple of nice days here for that one, too.
Yeah, CoreWeave really getting a nice bounce going into their earnings off that $100 level. Look, as far as Intel goes, I mean, 20 would be nice if we get down there. Like 20, it was 2 days in a row that you essentially were gifted. It just went 20 to 1960 and then 20 to 1960 again. But you're gapping up on this. We already knew about these concerns before they were even brought up on Thursday. It was sort of rehashed. Pressure got put on. Now they're having a meeting, which I'm gonna assume, like you say, all of the right things come out of it without the CEO having to, if the CEO doesn't have to resign, Lip-Bu-Tan. They still have all the issues at Intel. Like nothing changes here, really. I mean, they have all the issues they had previously, but with all of that, they've been holding $19. So as long as that continues to happen, we just bounced off of 19 and just got bad news again after earnings, and now this nonsense, but it still managed to make a higher low. Intel actually doesn't look terrible. And I think if it gets to 20, I'd look for a bounce off of that level. We had a couple of super chats to get to. Buy caps asking about PHAT and just mentioning it's at $9 now. So congratulations, it's a triple up for you. And then there was a question about BMNR. It was addressed to you, Sean. I know we looked at this one on Friday. Remember, this is another one of the treasury plays in here, BMNR, and this was a super high flyer. You're along 56.4, Shane D in the chat.
All right, shout out to Shane D. We'll have a quick look at that. And I just want to bring this up again. This is something that Fabian's made for us, and I'm actually going to reset this because right now, just going to explain how this works. You got to type in $ and then something into the chat, and then once you do that, then it all populates. The only way to be part of this chat, of course, is to go in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and it's completely for free. So now we'll hit the start over again. And now any name that comes with a $, see, so there's Oklo, Marvell. Wow, Marvell up okay. I like Marvell there at $77. That's a recent buy of mine as well. And then we'll talk about as that starts to populate, we'll look back there and we'll be able to see, here we go. All right, now we're starting to get going there. Thank you, everybody in the chat for doing that. And we'll be able to look at it. Look, trade idea number 2 for me today. 1 is Micron, 2 is Intel. Intel either comes down into $20 and gets us long. We're bidding there right now. We're bidding at, just so you guys know, we're bidding at $20.10. So that means you should be bidding at like 12 cents because it's often come down and miss and then ripped up. So we'll wait to see. That's kind of where this dark pool goes down into, just before $20. And then, yeah, I'm going to take a 21 break just to see if it does anything on this. There's nothing really up here, just an even dollar level for Intel. I mean, looking at the daily, it's come up. It's looked at 21 before, but really it's like 20.80. I just want to see it going. I'm not sure how excited I'm going to be about it. Another play that I saw some people asking about that, again, I gave this, you guys saw me buying this live on the show pre-earnings. We're down here on Oscar, which is another one that's been nicely moving to the high side since its earnings call, but we still need to see this thing break through 16. So those of you asking if I'm selling, no, we are not selling any of this stock right here. We're long just down in around here, around 1360 or so, up to 1560 right now, hopefully a little bit higher than that after this market opens up. We did have a problem with 1550 on Friday. I wasn't here Friday, but that was a level there of concern. So we'll see if Oscar can break through there, giving us $2 on 13. Not bad, but we're waiting for a little bit more for OSCR. So we've got Big Bear AI in our account. We've got Marvell. We've got Webull. We've got Oscar. These are just a couple recent plays that we put on. And then on the longer term account, we put on Eli Lilly, which is still starting to fall back in. So maybe we'll add some to this, but we'll give this one a little bit of time. I don't have UNH vibes on this, but this is not stopping right now. So we're going to have to wait to see what Eli Lilly's doing. It's nice to get green here so far today, but that doesn't mean that it's going to hold. And then another name, it's 9:16. We have lots of time right now. Roblox. I mean, how good has Roblox been? It's been awesome. And it's just continuing to ride higher as well. But again, some of these stocks, right? Like valuation hasn't mattered through this whole run up. But at some point, as Michael had said, people are going to start looking other places on some of these names. So I don't know. I'm getting a little bit jittery on some of these plays, especially the ones that have moved so far. Coinbase, another one I'm seeing a lot of people putting in coin. Look, Big Bear AI is still leading the way on this. I mean, you mentioned it one day or a couple of days. Actually, I guess we built a good case on this show for people to be long. And like I said, I hope you are, guys. But there it is, Big Bear AI, AMC, and BMNR kind of switching through the top right now with Oklo. All the big names here kind of not getting too much love today.
Oklo
Tesla
reports too.
Yeah, Oklo reports. Yeah, so that'll be a good one. And then there's Coinbase as well, swinging around.
Robinhood.
Ripple, XRP was up nicely there on Friday.
Yeah, Ripple did have a nice day. I'm surprised Robinhood didn't make that list, but I guess it gets boring making those all-time highs every single
day. Here comes crypto
As
next.
we talk about crypto next, lots of close to all-time highs there. I shouldn't jinx it.
Coming back in, though, right now, both Bitcoin and IBIT here trying to fill this gap, huge gap to the upside this morning on this move. We were discussing, if you were with us in the first 30 minutes, Bitcoin over the weekend with a nice rally to 120. I mean, there's a couple of interesting news headlines, most of which happened last week with the 401k executive order being signed. So that's now a thing. And that seemed to kick off this rally into the weekend. But a lot of these moves, as we've seen over the past couple of months, tend to happen on the weekend.
Yeah, it's really interesting, or after hours, right? Like we, of course, had Bitcoin hit all-time highs during the election, which was after hours, during the inauguration when the market was closed. Right now, though, it's interesting. If you look at the daily chart on Bitcoin, we actually have a lower high now on the daily with two topping tail candles, both times we get into that 122, 123,000 level. So maybe a bit concerning. I do want to mention an interesting small cap crypto-related catalyst. We've heard of a lot of different treasury strategies. Brendan, this one is for ALTS Alt 5 Sigma, actually gapping down, announcing plans to raise $1.5 billion through a share sale, after which they're going to be integrating a World Liberty Financial treasury strategy, and Eric Trump, one of Donald Trump's sons, will become part of their board. So lots of interesting little crypto catalysts. Another treasury strategy, I guess, being added to the mix in addition to the many Solana, Ethereum, et cetera, that we hear about.
For everyone that was putting AMC on that board, I was just double checking here. 66.2 million this is July 15th, so you got to go back a few weeks, but as of July 15th, 66.2 million shares I mean, the float on that stock is just enormous because of all of the shares that were issued, but 66.2 million shares, which is about 15%, guys, still short.
Surprised it's even that high. Good for them. It just means that there's actual chance that it could go. But speaking about crypto, though, if you look, like Bitcoin tried to get to all-time highs, got pretty close over the weekends. ETH broke out a local top, but did not get there. Ethereum, this local high at 41K, that's now been blown away, and looking for a dip back into that 41 area. Just the thing about it, the thing about the crypto moves, almost every single morning when we look at, well, at least when I go back and look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's almost as if they prefer, why is one blue ocean? It's almost as if they prefer to make the run, like the bigger run later in the session. Like it'll, nice pop early on ETH, and then it trends down, trends down, trends down, and then you get that late day surge when it finally breaks the trend. So if it doesn't go right away, then I want that break of the trend if there is a downward trend. And right now we're downward sloping on ETH. So I want to be playing pullbacks into prior high. And same thing with Bitcoin. That's what I want to be looking for. There you go. Like Bitcoin, trend down, wait for it to finally break away, and then try to get into the long. ETH looks a little bit stronger than Bitcoin today, at least when I look at that daily chart, so I might tend to favor that. But yeah, I want to be a dip buyer. But this is something that might take some time to set up. Because I've noticed if you have it early, that's not always the best time on these crypto plays once all the equity action starts to come in.
Yeah, I mean, we had that BMNR was obviously a big thing today as well. With wow, what a great call, and you know how wrong. I mean, I put the money to work other places, but yeah, selling some Ethereum seems to be wrong. That was $4,200. But yeah, BMNR again up 12%. The Tom Lee fund just keeps on going, right? I mean, if they're going to have that treasury in Ethereum, and Ethereum's going to do what it's doing, then who knows for how far this name's going to go? And you are near a breaking spot right now for them, right into here at 60. Well, I guess we're not quite there yet. I was looking at this little level right there, 66, 67. So maybe 68 break. I don't know. The short float on this thing continues to climb, I had thought. But let me just quickly check that before I give those details to you. BMNR, here it is right here. This is, again, BitMine. Yeah, remember when this name was first announced. Yeah, I guess the short float on here is 1.3%, so I don't think that's going to be right, which is why I want to double check that one right there. But yeah, Bitminer, a good name there if you're looking at Ethereum. Huge move. Trade this stock. You can also use ETHA just to see where that was as opposed to Friday, up another 3%. So yeah, I mean, just look at this. Like, to have sold some of this down into this area, which I did, I just got out of all of the stuff that I had on exchange. I still hold ETFs for Ethereum, but to get out of this around there, then switch it over to Ripple, which was fine. But at the same time, I think this has been outperforming, and there goes ETHE and ETHA actually to the upside. And if you are interested, make sure you do scan that QR code right there, because VinFast delivered over 35,800 EVs in Q2 of 2025, marking an amazing 172% jump from last year. This brings their first half total to more than 72,000 EVs, up over 220% year over year, with stronger sales. We're talking about Tesla's sales down. With stronger sales usually in the second half, they're on pace to easily double 2024's 97,000 units. They're also crushing it on two-wheelers, Neil, with nearly 70,000 e-scooters and bikes sold in Q2. That's up over 400% from a year ago. And with gas-powered two-wheelers being phased out in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City by 2026, the growth potential for VinFast looks enormous. You can find them on the Nasdaq under ticker VFS. We want to thank VinFast for sponsoring this portion of the show. So there it goes, man. That's something my daughter wants, a two-wheel electric scooter, but of course they are illegal in the cities of Toronto.
People use them.
So shout out to Hanoi City, Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City for moving the other way.
Yeah,
and, you know,
get it done.
Doing that. So yeah, all those e-scooters are all illegal.
People still use them anyways, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they don't care.
Things being illegal hasn't stopped anybody. I mean, these jails are loaded with people.
Well, look at the next topic.
And weed, yeah, there we go. Jails littered with people selling dime pieces. Back over the desk.
Wall Street Journal reporting that the Trump administration considering, again, to once again classify cannabis lower. So it's not as illegal in certain states throughout the U.S. So this is going back to Friday. So we did get a nice pop after the close on some of these stocks. MSOS, the ETF, for anyone who wants to look at it.
The context for these comments is pretty fascinating. Apparently, they took place at a $1 million plate fundraiser event at Donald Trump's New Jersey Golf Club. This included apparently executives from the pharmaceutical industry, including Pfizer executives, it included cryptocurrency advisors, and it included Kim Rivers, who's the CEO of Trulieve Cannabis. I guess Trump mentioned that he's interested in this change, apparently even flagging this change to staff members that were present at the event. And this isn't really the first time recently that we've heard Trump is interested in rescheduling. The CEO of Scotts and Miracle-Gro recently said that apparently in private comments between himself and Donald Trump, Trump expressed interest in rescheduling marijuana. So we'll have to wait and see if this comes to fruition.
Real quick, AI just got smacked back down below 15 again. A little bit of volume coming in here. I might as well touch on this real quick while we're here as well. A huge revision to the downside from C3 AI. And when I mean huge, 30 million worth on the revenue side of things, or better part of 30 million worth. They're now saying 70.2 million, 70.4 versus 100 to 109 was the initial projection, down 19%. So not good for C3 AI either, guys, down better part of 30.
And it was just 1 million to sell on the imbalance locator. Now 860,000.
Yeah, they just got updated here.
For C3. AMC is a buy of 500,000. NVDA is a buy of 500,000. NEO 400,000. ETHA 320. Soundhound's there. Well, there it is, like 350,000. So yeah, not good for C3 AI. It seems like it's the morning of earnings or earnings and guidance revision. Look, down that much. There's not much to look at. Outside of, this is a bad wick on the daily. The actual low is about $17. So if it were to get to 17, like that's an obvious place to look for a reversion. Otherwise, pre-market highs in pre-market top at about $16. I'm looking to fade on AI. If it breaks out that top, I'd still be waiting somewhere around 17 for some kind of a trend reverse on C3i. Tilray on the weed names, actually, hey, I mean, it was kind of trending up from the lows before all of this.
21%?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So look, it's a double top here at 85 cents. It's at 78, so it's a stone's throw away. You take the breakout. With a penny stock breakout, it's not like you're giving it $1 back. It's not even worth $1. You're giving a couple pennies against you, and if it goes 85 to $1, then it's certainly worth it in my books. Volume's only good, not great. We're at 10 million pre-market or so, which is good. It's not through the roof or anything crazy, but yeah, this Tilray's definitely on the radar here today for sure. But AI, I'm going to be looking to short that thing. Like yuck. Like most people don't even understand what they do, and you've already seen. You can see winners and losers in pretty much every single space. This barely even moved off of the lows. I suppose that's a good move, but for names in this ilk, it was already trending down going into this revised guidance. I'm going to be looking short.
And what does C3i even do?
Nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly.
We've asked that question.
I know. I'm asking you, like, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to put you on the spot. Like, I just.
No, but I've always said I don't really.
Yeah, no, I know.
We had someone actually point us to something. We read it. It was, you might not have been here. We read it, and we were like, and I remember Obi and myself were like, yeah, I still don't know.
Yeah, okay. SMR, New Scale does have some sort of an offering here, 500 million. It's not really affecting the stock though, so just I did see some people asking about it from 40 down to 30. I mean, it was a nice drop down to 39. Now it's come right back. So there's that drop off if people were wondering what was up with that, a $500 million offering for SMR. Just trying to raise some capital, I guess, still not making money, but we're gonna have to wait to see what's going on. But some of these stocks that are starting to move here in the pre-market here, Apple making a move. Remember, we do have those imbalances that Neil just mentioned, so those are going to have to get sort of faded out a little bit. CGC with the buy. Neil just talked about some of those weed names. For me, they're all shorts. I'm not super excited about any of those names, to be honest with you. SoundHound had quite a run there on Friday. I hope you guys were looking at that one if it's your cup of tea. But nice move for SoundHound, and it's trying to hold some of these highs as well. Right here, 13 looks pretty good there as the breakout. Let's see if that wants to hold a little bit higher now. This has been a name that people have looked at from AI related. We see C3 AI get killed today on guidance, SoundHound not with earnings on Thursday night. Nice bump up there for SoundHound. We're going to see if that can hold $13. That could be a good play, especially if it does come into those levels due to C3 AI. All right, so just for me with a minute and a half to go, we're still, okay, well, Micron, I was gonna say Micron's on the dip down there, and it did get into 124. This is making me a little nervous. I do have that break long on Micron. The thing is, we just held 124. That's quite a decent hit if it goes up there and then breaks all the way back down to 124. So I think we might have to get out if it takes maybe even 125 if it does break through long. We do like that long. I mean, that's what I'm scheduled for right there. I don't have Apple written down as a long, but that could be something around that 230. I'm looking to see if Palantir wants to keep sort of the boat going to the long side. We haven't really looked at this. Its move on Friday stopped at 188. So we'll have a look at that. That could be worth a break long as well. Or that could be a fake and break where you hit it, because we did it on Friday, and then it comes down and tests your patience down here at 186. So be careful with Palantir. I have more shares ready to go. Actually, I have the same on Micron and on Palantir. And then I'm also looking for Intel, just to see what that wants to do. But Intel's done nothing all pre-market here, so I'm not convinced that it wants to do anything. So and then the TQs for a dip buy. But other than that, man, 15 seconds left. Here we go.
Yeah, it's the first bell of the week, and it's brought to you by VinFast. Shout out to them, VFS over there on the Nasdaq. And always scan the QR code. Adara, let's get this party started. Ring it.
There we go. We're now open. 125, 187. Yeah, I think Micron will probably be the first one to look at here as it's trying to break 50s, and there it goes right now, breaking through 50s. And Neil, immediately in the money, huge. Right now, it's your first dollar club right there on Micron on your trade, hopefully of the day. We'll wait to see where it goes, but it's a banger already, Neil, and there it goes, man. It's a dollar club right off the jump right there as your number one trade idea, right? Micron breaking through 125.50, your boy has it. Now let's wait to see. That's a very excited bump up right there. I mean, you don't normally get that exact dollar. We got a pretty good price, 125.50. So there it goes already. Day made, goal made. We're here. We're in the building. One more time, Neil.
Yeah, that's what it's all about over there. I got AI immediately to the south side. It tried to break the pre-market resistance almost immediately and then tagged off the 15 area, so we're going to be short that. NVIDIA is trending back into the upside. We'll have a look there. We're just going to get a bid at the lows on C3 AI.
Holy
and then
shit.
jump on over to NVIDIA, which is trying to break out as well, trying to get to that 184. That's looking pretty strong already. AI, just give it to me. Give me 2 points. We're trying to bid 14.8. That one heads to the downside. Tilray, my order's out there for the breakout, but it doesn't look like that name is doing much of anything. Weed name's taking a bit of a break, at least early. It's at 80 cents. The breakout's at 85.
And we just got some outs there on Micron. Now Micron's falling back in as the futures are getting killed. We just got some outs up there at 127. Like I said, like when you're getting these huge plays like this, especially off the open and especially if you're using shares, it's better just to get some out. Like right now I only have about 35% left of this. I'm going to take another piece out right now at 126. Hopefully that was just a dip down and we don't give up too much profit. Starting to cover a little bit right now, but we are going to start to cover more of this. So we just got some more out there at 126 flat as now it's coming back in pretty decently. Let's take another piece out here at 80. I'm going to cancel that Palantir script order as well. Palantir right now trying to fall back just a little bit. We had almost 4 times or 3 times our daily goal right there, but again, it's falling back in and sometimes that's not what you're looking for. There's the market to the downside. I am also looking at a TQQ bid. We wrote down yesterday's closing areas of around, sorry, not closing areas, some kind of support areas down here at 91.7, which was close to the support. So close to yesterday's close. So we're going to see if that wants to work. But there goes Micron all the way back in there. So let's just watch out for it. I mean, if it does break 125, we can get out. I'll take another piece
Tesla's apparently flying.
Tesla's flying, yeah. Go ahead. I mean, I don't know. I just see you have AI.
No, I'm only in C3 AI, still looking over. Tilray's not really doing much of anything, but it looks like, oh, by the way, Figma, all-time low break. If it happens, I'm going to be short. It's not happening. Tesla, $341, it looks like, is the high. It's not a New York stock. Is Tesla, wow, just continues to power higher and higher. What an unbelievable name that is off of the open here. So look, it's not a blue sky setup. Let's go to the daily chart. It's not a blue sky setup, but there is some resistance at this area at $340. And after that, it's not till 360 that you run into trouble on these. The lithium names also going absolutely nuts all morning for sure. But The Nasdaq's headed to the downside. I just went over to Intel. Intel, forget about dip to 20.
Yeah,
that just tagged $21. Now 5% to the upside is Intel. As I said, I'm just in C3. I just reloaded. Ooh, it bounced off VWAP. But watch out. If a name that's SSR bounces off VWAP, you got to be careful because those SSR bounces. Short sell restricted just means the uptick rule is in effect on C3 AI. So if you're going to get that pop, I'm going to get some out at the volume-weighted average price, see if we can't get it to the low of the day. Again, that Tilray's long might have gone up in smoke. The problem with a breakout is if it never actually gets through the price, you don't get into position.
Yeah.
Wow, Tesla is super strong here.
I just put in the put in the wrong stop. I thought I got long at the bottom of Intel. I got long at the top of that break. I'm gonna have to get back into Intel. I don't mind this trade. I just have to get back into it. So Intel did break $21 there. I thought I was getting long on the bottom because I was watching the futures. I thought Intel broke that way, so I put the stop at 20.85, not realizing that we were long 21. But we don't want to take a break anyways and hold it for that long. If it's not going to work out, it's not going to work out. So you don't need to be in that. It's the same example that we were using with Micron. Like it ripped up, and like I said, it was going so quickly there. Before I could even put my first key out, we were in the money 80 cents on Micron. So I just feel like, you know, when stuff gets that excited early, you got to be a little careful with those kind of plays. Micron right now is trying to bounce a little bit off VWAP. We said that we would try to look at that level there for Micron. So let's just take a little bit more of a shot here and see if it does want to hold out some of these lows on Micron. Let's just give it to that. Well, that's 124. That's way too low. All right, so we just bought some. Okay, well, that was a good dip buy. So we just bought some more there in the teens. It just went to 40s. Let's see if it can get back going, especially if this market wants to go. So there it is. Nice little reload there. So, okay, we're reloaded there on Micron, but it doesn't really matter unless you get some out. So we're doing some of that up there. We got a couple outs in the 40s and 50s right there for Micron. So let's see what it wants to do right now, Adara.
Keep an eye here on some of these lithium plays. As Neil mentioned, some of these making some interesting moves. Here's LAC. Apparently what's happening here is the automaker battery supplier Contemporary Amperex Technology has suspended mining operations for 3 months in China because of an expired permit. There's also potential strength in this space because there's some investor sentiment suggesting that Beijing might suspend other projects, which could impact overall supply of the resource. So some lithium supply, I guess, issues sending names like LAC to the upside. Back to you.
Thanks so much there, Dara. I know a lot of people in the chat were like, what is going on over there in lithium? And that's why we have the best over there at the desk, locked and loaded, making sure you get the news. Ooh, IBIT just broke the trend line. Oh, I have to go to ETH first. You said ETH first over IBIT. That's already gone. It looks like it's going to be Bitcoin after all. Bitcoin breaking that downward trend that we were sitting in pretty much, I mean, the entirety of the pre-market, we were in this downward trend in IBIT. I'm going to go long off the 68 level because clearly, without even drawing it, but I can draw it for you, I can eyeball and just see that it broke, and then you broke that prior high in here. So prior bar low is like 68, just underneath 68. So I'll throw my stop adjacent to that level. C3I still finding buyers here. Maybe the worst is in. The first dip got to the actual lows, and then the second one barely broke the volume-weighted average price. So I'm not reloading at a higher price. If it breaks 1540, I'm just going to jump out on the last of these shares and maybe even get another leg out in front of VWAP. Sometimes you're down 31%, and that's just about it. I just realized the position board just went.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
I'm only in. I'm now long. It was gone 2 seconds ago. I look over, I look back.
I reloaded my position.
And then it's there. It must have been it just happens, everybody. So there it is. Long IBIT, short into C3 AI. And wow, why ever hope that you're going to get a breakout on a weed name?
Yeah,
I don't want to cancel my order, but yeah, I'm just going to leave it in there. I'm still crossing. I'm not breaking out at 86.7. I'm just, if it breaks 85, I'm crossing a penny and a half. But I'll leave that in there. I thought maybe at the open you get a little action in the weed names.
All right, let's go Intel. Intel now above 21. I told you we were back in that. We did punch out by accident. We got right back in once we punched out. We understand that we're now just making back what we had lost. Well, we're going to be up on it, but we're making back what we lost right now at Intel, waiting for those positions to fly through. And there goes Micron, man. Micron's still a positive stock, but we'll fail on those last rebuys as now it's back down through 123. We had written down on here that we we didn't. I think we didn't mind a 120. That's the wrong one. We didn't mind a 123 long, which was VWAP at the time. So I'll test it again here. Risk a little bit at these levels, just to see if we do break again through 123. And if it does do that, then yeah, we'll fly out. I mean, this has not been a good stock, except for off the open, like I mentioned there, where we crushed that one. But yeah, here we go. We're back into the 20s, so we're long at 28. We just got some out there at 30s, as you can see on the way back up there. We even got a 50 fill there as well, so let's wait to see. Intel's trying to go. We got a nice piece out there at 08 now, but yeah, I told you that this NVIDIA and AMD story was that if I wasn't so obsessed with sort of holding on to things forever, I think I would be selling a little bit of NVIDIA. I don't love this news for them. They're down now 0.9% on that news that they have to sell now. So 15% back over to the government with their sales into China. But Micron right now, 36, 37%, trying to finally get back up to the upside. Let's see if that dip buy just occurred to us down there at 123. We don't get it right all of the time, but this time we punched along. That was a successful trade. Then we dip bought into here, which we probably should not have. We wait for the 123 level that we posted, and it's working. Intel fading all the way back upside as well. So I only have these two trades on right now, and I see some people talking about Oscar. Yes, sir. Spin it again. There goes Oscar. Thank you so much for bringing that one up there, the Jameson. This is a name that we're also up on earnings as well recently, so I hope some of you were tailing on that trade. There goes Oscar. Let's just wait to see right now. Intel and Micron, the only names on my mind as of now.
Yeah, same too for me, but I told you I wasn't going to reload that third time on C3 AI. Held the volume weighted average price, and that was the sign. You get the low of the day, then you get the higher low, then you get out of dodge on a short trade. It's now powering up. I said 17 on C3 after that guidance, updated guidance, I guess is what it was, and obviously not very good, and health concerns for the CEO, all that good stuff. $17 on the daily is the level that I'm eyeballing. We're into IBIT here, but as you mentioned, BMNR flying higher. This is more ETH play, obviously, up another 20%. It just hit an over-under at 63, with the sellers really starting to come in. So if it is pulling back into VWAP, that would be a nice little spot to try to get into that thing. And I see a few people in the chat mentioning, let's go Webull.
Let's go Webull.
Probably, I'm just gonna, there was no news on Webull specifically. So more likely, more of a crypto rise all ships kind of deal. Robinhood made an all-time high as well. Right again off that 15. This is continuing to make higher lows, and we're in it, we love it, but you're getting higher lows once again, actually steepening out a little bit here. Probably on the way back to that $17.5 to $18 area. Hopefully today, but certainly this week. I'm going to make the assumption that Robinhood is also having a good day, but I'm just in IBIT, and I'm going to look for places to try to add into this. If we've broken the trend and I'm going to get to the pre-market high, we've got the chance that it can start holding above the volume weighted average price. Otherwise, it dips back into 68 even as far as IBIT goes. We're chilling at 19,009 on Bitcoin. So like right here, if we break VWAP, that's like retaking 120K.
Yeah, I was trying to do the similar math here. We have BMNR, we have SBET, some different stocks worth looking at. Right, exactly. So, I think
BMNR has been moving way better than SBET.
Yeah, someone was mentioning that
SBET
was sort of down there, and if you did like it, it might be a better investment than BMNR. But again, you have the Tom Lee factor. Like we've said a couple times here, back and forth. So, all right, lucky enough to get that out at 21.10, it looks like, on Intel there today. But yeah, U.S. stocks opened up modestly flat, I guess. I mean, the Nasdaq did make a move down, and it actually went right into our level of the TQs, and I didn't do anything about it. 91.80, that's exactly what we had written down. 91, look what we written down here. 91.60 to 91.80. Now we'll have to wait to see if Micron can make that move back up, which I believe it probably can. Just a quick look, we did get some talk on Friday about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. and trying to go public, I guess. And they had a huge move up, and now today it's not doing anything. So we'll have to wait to see what FNMA or FMCC are doing. What's up, Randy? Right there, right on time, because we haven't talked about Tesla yet today. It's not a pink sheet name. All right, so there's Tesla. Nice move upside today again, Randy, up to 340, looking like it wants to keep on going. My car's down there charging, and we'll get an update on that one. Couldn't be happier with that so far. But yeah, there goes Tesla, bouncing off VWAP, 338 and change, all good. We do finally get a little bit more action here on Intel. We get some 91s now. We'll get a piece out there. Micron, again, back to 124. Take another piece out up on the high side. How was your weekend, Randy? Was all right?
Oh.
Yeah, birthday party yesterday.
Boom.
For my old man. He's 80 years
Nice.
Boom, 80. Happy birthday.
old. Birthday.
Get it.
Randy's
That's what-
old
Good
man.
times.
Good,
Good
man. You got
times.
some good genes there. That means you'll be living
It was
living a good life.
hot.
Forever.
It was way too hot.
Oh boy.
Was it a barbecue, brisket type of thing? Were you guys indoors? What were you guys doing?
No, we had it catered.
Oh, nice.
Just nobody had to cook outside
Right.
and inside the house. Yeah, it was fun.
I'll never hate on catered ideas, man. I think that's a
No.
great idea.
It was,
Keep it simple, man.
yeah,
It was
exactly.
good times.
Yeah.
And the thing about that too is it gives you time to do other things.
Yes.
Like you're not sitting
Mingle
there
and-
by the barbecue. You can
Exactly.
spend time with your pops and everything like that.
That's
so,
right.
oh, great
So-
to hear. Great
What's
to hear.
his secret? What's his secret? 80, still staying healthy. Everyone has the shtick.
That's right. I mean, your health is the most important thing. So it's all good. It's all good. He's upset that you can't water his lawn because there's a water ban on it. It's so dry.
Oh, water ban, huh?
He likes his yard work. so-
Water ban, huh?
That's what
I
they
know.
do, though. But that's yeah, a lot of
It is.
places. do
It's
it.
so dry up here. We need some rain. So somebody
There's a
please do the
fire.
rain dance.
The grass is dying.
Fire ban too. I think.
We've been.
There's a forest fire right north of my house.
That's
There
what
you
I was
go.
gonna say, like they're ramping up again. The air
Yeah.
quality's trash because we have a
It's-
forest fires everywhere around
It's
here.
nuts. So
Yeah.
stay cool, folks.
Yeah, definitely steak.
Maybe a reload if you have a second, or else I can go. If you have a second, otherwise I can go. You
I'll
know.
take it.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
If you're going.
The double request. Thanks, Randy. Yeah,
No,
great to hear, man. 80 years old.
I shouldn't. Someone in my neighborhood, let's just say their sprinkler is on every single day, and they do it really early in the morning, like people don't notice. I'm like,
Well, people will be proud of my household. My front yard looks like hay.
well, I'm
So
just
we are
saying,
not spending the water.
Yeah, my grass looks like it's dying because you're supposed to be easy.
I spent like a half hour picking weeds yesterday as I had a little bit of
too
time
hot
to kill
for that,
between my daughter going to the game and then I had to
too
wait
hot
for
to pick weeds.
BonCon. Man, those
shoot,
furries,
did
you
he-
know what I mean? Those furries. Okay, yeah, you got Joe piped up there on that one. All right, so yeah, just to see Intel goes to 21 again and falls back in. Yeah, kind of the same old stuff happening here right now. You know, waiting for Micron to do something. Finally, it doesn't look like it may or may not want to. I don't know, but Micron right here back up to 124. We've been getting some more outs in and around this area. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, just want to let you guys know about Tempest AI here. TM, this is a beautiful push here off the open from about 59.50 to 64.50, so $5 move. They do have a 26.5% short float. It's a day two earnings name. I also want to mention we don't have any economic data coming out today at 9:45 or 10 a.m., but at 10 a.m., we will have Donald Trump, President of the U.S., hosting a press conference on crime in the Washington, D.C. area. So unlikely to be market related, but there can always be questions or comments that are made after the fact. So I'll definitely cover that for you guys. Back to you.
You know, just talking about Rocket Labs there on Friday was pretty wild.
And it was wild at the open again today, apparently. Rocket Labs did another just absolute dump off the open and then reversed. Huge. Like yesterday. On Friday, it was a breakout, then reverse. Today was a dump, then reversal to the upside for Rocket Labs. But Tempest, that's the Pelosi special, right? Like,
Yep.
isn't that her? Wow, that is one hefty buy program. You know, you can tell a buy program.
She ready.
Because it's just obvious. If when you don't even look at, like, you look at the chart and it's a 3-minute chart and it's 946 and all it's done is go up, 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 up and away. 65 big resistance on Tempest AI. Let's see if it can get there. My goodness, Tesla, that is insane. Tesla, the day Tesla's not on the radar, just double checking IBIT in here. I want us to break, it's got to break about 16.4. We're above 120 and I'm looking for the dip buy. I'm still waiting at 68 on trend, but if we start holding VWAP, then that's where we have to get to. It is Tesla that just went absolutely ham again, bouncing off 39. Now headed
Tesla's
towards
world, man.
It's 4% to the upside, and absolutely screaming. There is not much in the way. 50 is an obvious number, and then 360 on the daily chart's got some resistance on it. But here comes NVIDIA as well. All right, NVIDIA is up at that high. It's Friday's high. It's 183 as well on NVIDIA. So we get up here. I'm looking for the shot to revert this, meaning if it's going to trend up and just give me the shake and bake, I'll look for the other end of the V.
All right, right now we do have to remind you all to check out Beta Pro by Global X. Right now, savvy Canadian investors looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3 times daily levered ETFs, featuring, of course, that built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure at Beta Pro now, betapro.ca. Go check it out, yo. Okay, man, here we go. It's Micron. We're trying to get that back through the upside, so let's go Micron as we cheer them on. Let's go Intel right now as well. What a good mover for Intel, for your boy right now. Spin the cash here on INTC. Finally starting to get going. Now, whether or not this is the high or the low, I don't know, but Intel kind of just in the middle, so we'll buy some more dip buys there. And of course, if you're watching for the first time, any of these indicators will tell you if we are long or short simply by looking down below, and then you'll be able to see our ins and our outs here. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe, and of course you can hit up the chat at any time. Ask Neil or I how our day's been going, positive, negative, any stocks you want us to look at. We have no problem having a quick peruse of any of those symbols, especially when we do get reloaded with coffee. And speak of a devil, there's Randy right now with the coffee. Thank you so much, Randy, for that. And timing is indeed impeccable. So thank you, Randy, for all that. And thank you to all the guys behind us, of course, for doing all the work. Studio 8
in full effect
is ready. Rex in effects right now. So we're very, very excited.
All the market wants to do is zoom,
and then eventually boom.
Somewhere
boom.
that you can't say.
Yes.
Well, if the shorts, yeah, you know what?
I don't know where you're going with this one, but.
Well, I mean, they would have been pretty crude, so I'll just.
Okay, yeah. So we'll stay away from it.
You have to. Rex and Effects, legit. I was a huge fan of them. Gigantic fan of Rex and Effects. Shout out to Teddy Riley, a Blackstreet fan.
Yes.
NVIDIA is trying to go here. You're absolutely screaming to the upside. Friday's high was 183.3, somewhere around there. It's like 31 or 32. And then on Thursday, it did not break 184 either. To me, the breakaway is above 84. And getting into here is where I would look for the short on that bad boy. We're getting a little bit of a dip, which might give me the reload into IBIT. That's the first place I'm thinking in here. Still waiting at 68. My stop is underneath that for sure. And Shane, is that Shane Ed? Shane Ed in the chat, 25, 35. Everyone's got these funky numbers because that's what YouTube is doing to us. BMNR, $65 now. Wow, that is going absolutely ham, continuing to rally. Remember, keep a close eye on ETH. We were saying this on Friday, like if ETH pulls back, then those names can go, I mean, I'm talking about them and SBET. They can fly to the downside rather heavily. And I don't know what was wrong with SBET, why it wasn't going earlier as much, but it rectified that problem by itself. It's turning with ETH as well. So just always be careful with those. ETH pulls back a little bit and they can pull back a lot. It's the NVIDIA short that I'm looking for in here. Haven't really gotten to those highs yet. Looking for that trend reversal. Still working its way to the upside.
Yeah, there's been. I got to go get another coffee. I think.
What's wrong with the?
I don't know. We have that huge coffee machine. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if you catch it during a cleaning cycle or something.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to go get another one. Randy trying to poison us up in here right now. Randy, man, come on, man.
No,
we're just hosts over here. I don't know, Randy.
You taste the soap.
Yeah, you taste something there. Anyways, yeah, we'll get something different in there. Okay, so AMC's, of course, shares had climbed earlier as they report greater attendance in these summer months. We talked about Superman getting some nice little bumps, I guess, as well this past weekend. That has been really well received. So AMC catching a little bit of that. I don't know what else. There was Minecraft, I guess, was probably a big name for them. I don't know what else was in the theaters, really. I probably saw a couple couple of the movies that had sort of topped them off there. But yeah, AMC nicely climbing there today, so that's going to be a good one. We talked about some of the downswings in today's market with NVIDIA and with AMD, but I mean, I guess that was short-lived. As I was saying, like possibly,
it's always a short.
Yeah, it's always is. I mean, possibly selling some of this name, but that looks like that might have been incorrect. And I didn't do any of it, just that talk, not right. It's nice to see us battling back here on Micron. Of course, Intel doing its best to do absolutely nothing. 183.20, that could be a great break level there. 183.23 there. As Intel, as NVIDIA, or anybody, I guess. That 15% was just anybody selling anything to China, right? We're just, or was it only these two names? Because we're focused on.
I only saw AMD.
Like, does this hurt Marvell? I don't know. Yeah, okay.
But I mean, obviously those are the two by volume that matter the most.
I mean, we're looking at Intel because of the visit to the White House, and I just think that.
What do you mean? What even comes of that?
Well, I'll tell you what comes of it. Probably good news, because the thing is Donald Trump was.
He can't.
He can't fire anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
The thing is, he can't even fire Fed Powell. The thing about Intel is I remember Tim Cook. Was getting cooked by Donald Trump for a very, very long time. And then all of a sudden he visits him, and next thing you know, Tim Cook is one of the biggest geniuses in the world, and then Apple gets this levy or whatever, this tariff-free zone there, and some good talk. So I just wonder if Intel and their CEO, Lip-Bu-Tan, can go over there and try to play nice. President likes when you play by his rules and play nice. So yeah, we'll wait to see. I mean, it's going to be a red stock for me at the end of the day here. We only have one losing trade. It's this Intel trade, and it's because we did punch into 21. And you know, the reloads have been great into there, but we did make that mistake. What's up, Ramin? How's it going? Great. Okay. Good to see Ramin here today. We really like that. But yeah, it's Intel having a problem. So if we break through VWAP, we're out of this one. Intel doing its best, as I said, to do nothing. Was up 4 or 5% in the pre-market. Still winds up. We shot up real early, and now we're just hovering around here. So I shouldn't say it's doing nothing. I mean, Intel up 4% is like its birthday. So we'll wait.
Intel, that's amazing.
It's amazing. So that's what I mean. So
I mean, not everybody can have their best week. I'm trying to remember how long was it that Apple had its best week in a very, very long time.
Apple's still red on the year, though.
I know, but it was 13%. And then when Adara said it on Friday, I looked at the weekly chart and was like, oh, yeah, it's been a while since it's had that big of a week to the upside for Apple. So, look, 4% on Intel. If anybody's complaining about 4% on Intel, then I don't know. Like, that's ridiculous.
There's bigger things to complain about.
No, there's a
world hunger.
Like
things like that.
Yeah, but the stock is. Anyway, after bad earnings and after seemingly negative news, because I mean, ultimately just simply tweeting out or truthing out that the CEO should go because of a Fox report that had just come out, which we already knew some of that stuff. I don't really think that was that big of a deal, but the perception is everything on a beaten up company already in a good space, but a beaten up company nonetheless. So it looks like NVIDIA broke the trend, and I don't want to chase it too far. I want adjacent to the pre-market high. Prior pre-market high, 182.6, and that's as far as I kind of want to go here in terms of chasing it to the downside to be able to give it to this prior bar at about the quarter higher. So I want to try to get that short. IBIT still didn't. Why didn't I get filled? Oh, it didn't get there. Well, that's
why.
Well, that's why. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, why didn't I get filled in front of 68? Because it didn't get to 68, Neil. It bounced off 68.06, so I might try to reload this one at like 9s or 10s. But if you look at the cross crypto, it's actually ETH that is stronger.
Oh.
So look, if Bitcoin comes out under 68 and I just dump out of that second long, I might go over to ETH, which is much stronger at this particular point and looking incredible. And whoa!
I said whoa.
There's actually whoa in the chat. Whoa, Bobo.
Oh, no, not a Labubu.
I know. HIM's down 4% and still flushing. It broke that $50 level. All right, trend break and a flat bottom break. It's time to slap the old fail. There's no point in drawing that trend line from last week and then watching HIM's break it if I'm not going to try to be short this stock. The prior low, 50.25. 50.30. So any short back into 50.30 on HIMs. I hope we don't have to pay for locates on this. We probably don't. We do not. HIMs is free.
Ooh, I like that.
So I like it back into 50.30 on HIMs. It was kind of a random price. I was just testing to see if we had locates.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, you try to short at that $50.08. Not really. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to pay for these. But I'm going to jump into this short if we can get it. 50.30 would be the stopping point for sure. Still IBIT for me. Would like to get involved in at some point, NVIDIA, but it doesn't look like that short set up all that well. And given the market strength, I don't know if I want to rush into the short. It's got to be just right.
Well, that's the thing. You don't need to do anything here. It's 9:57, so we're still a little bit early. We want to thank everybody, of course, for staying with us, watching us, and continuously supporting the show. I have to refresh to see what's going on here with our feed, but thank you so much for everybody joining. We do have over, as I hit play right now. Here it is. Okay, so there it is. Takes me forever. I'm going to show you Fabian's little screener in a second. 870 likes, over 10,000 of you right now, so thank you for that continued support. Of course, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and get involved, and put your names in the chat so we can figure out what exactly you guys want to look at. Neil just mentioning there with Ethereum, there's BMNR right here, the #1 name, BBAI. You guys want to look at that? And that's now $7, so that's a good one, even though it's still showing down on the day. But we like the fact that it's back to 7. It was, in the 680s before. Webull, yes, sir. Holy, I know we talked a little bit about that, but Webull there up 8%. Let's go. We're rocking on that one right now. Palantir down to 185. Maybe we'll just tap out of some Palantir at 185 instead of 195. Getting a little greedy on that one. Open Door up 9%. That goes today as well. That tracks. There's AMD 0.34. We like that trade as that's coming back up to the upside. We'll have a quick look at that in just a couple seconds. We are getting out of some more Micron. I'm just trying to hold this against that low and just been getting out. It doesn't look like it really wants to go. We were able to dip buy in Intel, and as we sit here and kind of make fun of the name, it's actually been quite okay on these dip buy opportunities. So I like that stock here today. Looking for some more, though, in order to get involved. We did have, again, some talking points. Neil had mentioned earlier there today, what does Fed rate look like, right? And I mean, when I left you guys on Thursday, chug some more of this water, man. I go get another coffee up in here. 87% now. It was 93. And then Neil mentioned to me, he's like, oh my God, have you seen it? And I was like, no. And he's like, it's 87. So that's starting to look a little more likely that, well, it's still very likely to get a cut. But if we go here to December now, we're only looking like maybe 2 rate cuts by the time December 10th comes right there. So we'll wait to see what Powell, the more I talk about this, the more you're maybe hearing an echo as we talk like that. But yeah, so that's pretty interesting there about the Fed. And I don't know who's reporting tonight, but most of the earnings are now through.
Oklo.
Yeah, right. So most of the major names are done, but there are still some very important.
Caps.
Yeah, and especially for our viewers, right? There's a lot of viewers here that are paying attention to some of these smaller cap
one
names.
of them.
What is it? Oh yeah, Big Bear. Yeah.
ASTS.
Astis, yeah.
The thing about ASTS, I think traders call it Astis because that way I will never typo the stock. Like if I say, it's just one of those.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
It's like there was another symbol that was similar. And if you say the name of the company, I'll always say Astis or ASTS because it was something else very, very similar back in the day. But no, Oklo's a big one because we saw what already happened to that group. And they tend to run together. We'll see. I mean, SMR got spanked the other day, and then they had an offering. So those are big time movers, all double-digit short floats. As HIMS is starting to come back into VWAP, so I'm going to look for the fade into that prior high. And let's go. It's 10 o'clock already.
Oh boy.
What's happening now, Adara?
What's happening right now is the S&P 500 trying to find some support here at that 637 level. This is 2 straight bottoming tail candles for the S&P 500. Let's see if it's able to get a bit of a bounce off that point. Nasdaq looking fairly similar, but this one actually doing slightly better, trying to take out already this pre-market high. And then, of course, we'll have that post-market high of 576 to contend with. Let's take a look at MNDY, one of the pre-market earnings reports we had and watched today. Monday.com posting EPS and sales beats, but their guidance for the coming quarter more or less exactly in line with estimates. Then we have AMC, actually better than expected to report, initially gapping up pretty well, but selling off a little bit at the open. Now, last but not least, speaking of selling off, C3 AI had a really, really rough pre-market session here, reporting preliminary revenue well below estimates. We did have CEO Tom Siebel citing this drop in part to, I guess, his health issues that he's undergoing currently. The company is apparently looking for a new CEO. Back to you.
Wait, so Daryl, what am I doing? What are we doing here?
Thank you very much, Dara.
You don't want to hear me thank Adara. You want to hear the President of the United States thank Adara personally for all the hard work she does so you guys and everybody here in the community can stay up to date with live news. Shout out to Jedi. The force is strong with this one. Good morning. Can you take a look at Figma and Circle? No problem. Figma, yeah, well, Figma didn't break out that low, so I said this with Tilray, and I'll say it with Figma. If it's not going to break, then
there's nowhere to go.
You can't. What are you going to do? Like, I'm taking this break, but it bounced off of its all-time low. It's only been trading a week or two, so obviously every single new low is an all-time low. But good day for Figma off of some of those bottoms for it to be able to hold a second day here. And then Circle. CoreWeave's the one that I would have thought would be a little bit more of a mover because CoreWeave reports tomorrow. But Circle catching a bid. Why? Well, ETH is up.
Ooh.
Crypto's up.
Wow, catching a bid.
So obviously it makes sense. All of these sympathy plays are going, and this has a big breakout level at about 170. We'll call it 170. I don't think it's exactly 170 bucks. What was Thursday's high? Oh, no, that is exactly 170 bucks, it looks like. So yeah, 170 Thursday's high when this thing just dumped at the open and never caught a bid all day long. So 170 is your big level on Circle. I'd almost venture to say that's more exciting than a Figma bounce.
I have some bad
I
news.
think there's a little bit more, what's the word, like for excitement, rally potential, short squeeze potential in these names than I think you get over in Figma. That's just my 2 cents. Like, I'd be more inclined to fade Figma's move at some point than I would try to fight Circle when all of crypto was going haywire. Oh, NVIDIA, you suck.
I have bad news. There was a lineup at the coffee.
Lineup?
Yeah, so shout out to Herman and everybody over there. I was just like, bro, I'm trying to get a coffee over here. Then the guy started talking to me about everything, and I was just like, come on, my guy. I mean, and then what's his name? Started with a D, ends with an N, came a boy. He's like, don't you have a show to be on? And I'm just like, Can't catch a break? And then he's like, oh, don't you have somebody that gets coffee for you? And I'm just like, yeah, we do actually. And so I hustled back to the show. I'm just joking around, but we hustled back to the show here, and I could not retrieve us a coffee.
It does happen sometimes.
There is a lineup. Sometimes the policy is around here is three days a week or so. The staff kind of needs to be in. Some of the programmers and stuff like that here at Real Trading. So today they're in, I guess. My guy Dimitri, shout out to everybody that's part of the Trading for Development team. That was my guy. It was he and I. Well, it was I, and then it was he, and then it was what?
Dimitri doesn't age.
Dimitri doesn't age? Yeah. Have you seen him lately? No, don't, just joking. Dimitri looking like fine wine right there, getting better with age as well.
Shout out to everyone in the Real Trading community, everybody.
Yeah, you know who else doesn't age because she is just so damn young. It's Adara over there at the screen. We're glad to have her part of our team, of course, now for how long, Adara? A year and a bit, I guess? I never know anymore because like I see Fabian and Ramin and it feels like they just sort of got here, but I know they've been here for a while now. 2 years for Fabian, for sure. Ramin, I think 3 or 4 months. Adara, give the viewers an update. What are we looking at here? How many months? How many years have you been with Trader TV Live?
It will be 2 years as of August 30th. So that is the exact date. HURA making a massive pop to the upside here. Tahura Biosciences, it's worth noting, volume on this is a bit light, around 400,000 shares traded so far today. Representative Laurel Lee filing for a purchase of up to $100,000 worth of Tahura Biosciences stock. So HURA on watch. This one is in the Russell 2000 with a market cap of around $109 million. We have a short float of about 10% for HURA. Back to you.
I have to go to the bathroom. Thank you. Thanks, Derek. So I got into that HIMS trade. I always love it's like, it comes back, you just happen to come. We're talking to each other. We're going to get a coffee in a minute. But I just got into HIMS underneath prior day lows. If you're wondering why favor is short on HIMS, it just broke this trend on the daily. There's nothing to do. That's not fundamental. I could care less about any of that stuff. But you're breaking down on a big trend reversal there on him. So I'm just favoring the short as long as we're underneath this trend line on the daily. And this was the first opportunity to be able to get into that. Ooh, Tesla. Is Tesla starting to give up the ghost a little bit here?
I keep forgetting that EdJ is now, they pay you for that one. So I keep on using the wrong key.
It's a good gateway.
It's not getting filled anymore.
I actually had to, for anyone at Real Trading, when a major shift happens, like so a gateway goes from you add liquidity and get paid to post to the other way or vice versa, the first thing I did was I moved my key to another key so that I would mentally think of it differently. If I kept it the same key, I would treat it the same way, which is, anyways, it helped me because it's not a huge deal unless you're trading small stocks that move around a little bit less. But Tesla just lost VWAP, everybody, and that was one of the stronger names out there. It doesn't really look like it wants to hold. Yeah, they've got to 343. I guess the road to 350 is going to have to wait till another day. If it can get back above the volume weighted average price, re-get that trend, I think it's constructive. But at the end of the day, I like stocks holding VWAP on the way back in. I got quickly in and out of HIMS because I must have mispriced the stop. So I just punched right back in the same price. That's what you have to do. Bidding 50s, and I'll bid low of the day here. But I want to be short this as long as we're underneath that volume weighted average price. iBit's doing basically the same thing that it was before. And whoa, have we not even talked about the all-time high maker?
Which is?
That's a bit of a program. Palantir.
Yeah.
We joke about this every time that it doesn't make an all-time high, that there's something wrong with the stock. So today there is something wrong with the stock because it didn't make an all-time high. There's nothing wrong with the company not making an all-time high every day, but when I say there's a program, there's your support on Friday, there's your support in the pre-market, and there is your resistance for 30 minutes. Someone's been selling this at the 185.5 zone on Palantir. Well, if it breaks away from that, Palantir is worth a long anytime it goes through any kind of a big seller. So if it can get through this, I'm taking, just because I want to take it long and scalp it to 187, which also happens to be the opening range top. So if it can break above 185.70, sellers in control until they're not, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Uber on a nice little run up right here as well. I don't know if you know what? Maybe my earpiece is not working because I went back and forth into the.
I didn't even.
Andre, can you test my earpiece if you get a second? Yep, it's working. Okay, good. I just reloaded it. Okay, good. So, yeah, Uber on a little bit of a jaunt upside right now. So there goes Uber. Yeah, get it, Uber, I guess. $90.40. I mean, straight up, that's about $1 to the north side right here as the market just kind of chills out. So Uber on a nice move higher today for sure. So that's nice to see. C3 AI, we could talk about that a little bit here. Again, there it is right now. C3 AI, of course, down after warning of disappointment on their earnings. But you could see a nice move higher right there as we all try to figure out if we want to buy the stock or not. First thing first, figure out what they do. But there goes C3 AI, a nice move. What's today's date again, Neil?
Today's what?
Yeah, like it's not Tuesday, it's
Monday.
Yeah, so we have Monday.com right here with a nice move there. Yeah, good. Just trying to set you up there.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Yeah, down rate.
How much is it down?
Thank you, everybody. Down now 28% as Monday.
That stock has a serious case of the Mondays.
Yes. Nice one, Neil. Not quite as good as mine, but
I love
it's
that
there.
movie,
It's there.
by the
Yeah,
way.
it's a good one. You know, what movie is that from?
Oh, it's Office Space.
Oh, Office Space. I kept thinking Ferris Bueller's Day Off for some reason. I was like, it's not what it is. I'm just going to ask you. All right, so earnings beat, but again, cautious revenue guidance. I mean, this is what honestly, like, you can beat all you want. That's the past. It's what are you thinking about your business moving forward, which is why we stay away from Big Bear AI until we hear those numbers, right? Because this is kind of the stuff that could happen. This could happen to Big Bear. This could happen to Small Bear. I mean, anybody. AMC, again, today going the other way, thankfully, for a lot of traders, as AMC right now just trying to absorb, whoops, come on, charts. Get going. I was going to say AMC's down 27%. That'll be bad. It's not. It is up 5% on Q2 results. That beat. And then, again, a little bit of a better guide there as they see some more traction coming into their theaters. So we'll have to wait to see if AMC wants to hold out or not. That low of around 250 looking pretty juicy there. We've gotten as high as 4 on a squeeze, but I guess today, after decent earnings and a beat, that's generally the recipe for success higher, and it's not happening right now. But just, I'll review some of this, but again, traders got to trade. Shout out to Taylor Swift. But right there, here you go. Huge move on Intel. Dip buy. Yes, you can. Intel right there. Nice move higher on that one. So that's 20 cents in the money. And then it's Micron right now. my number one idea of the day was first things first. We did both of these ideas, and it is a monster trade. I mean, here's Micron right here. Go find the sticky note. I put it up right here. It's 125.50 long. So there's the 125.50 long. There's the march to 127. Made our daily goal, gave some back as we came in and lost that goal, which is why it doesn't really matter. Back into 125. We tried the long, then we got stopped out at 124. Reverse dollar club there. Dollar club hit. But then it came back in, and then as you could see right here, Neil, what did we write down? 123 is where we like the long there on Micron. So if you were following the note and you have that, then there's 123 long. We have it. We're long at 123.10. Now $1.70 in the money on that Micron trade. So as I say that, might make some sense to get some out upside. So I just crossed to 84. So let's see if we can get that. And again, here's me using Edge. I need to switch my keys over on that one. But here, I'm just going to take out, punch low. I just tried to punch 77 and missed it. Okay.
It's good on the thicker stocks. Like if you unlike Apple, Edge is great because you swipe the level and you just get paid. But Micron doesn't do the kind of the volume that.
It depends if Swiper is there, as soon as there's no swiping or not. It's
swiping. I want to get to the super chat in a quick little second there. There it is. It's Mike Lowry.
It's Mike Lowry's here?
Mike Lowry.
Okay,
Mike Lowry going to be all right.
Good, thank God.
AMD, baby, thank you all for what you do. I haven't even looked at AMD today, but I will in a quick little heartbeat. Whoever was selling, someone joked and said it was Kathy Wood that might have been the program seller at the open on Palantir. I have absolutely no idea. Doesn't really matter. The key is, was it happening? Did it release? It broke and went right into that 187. So clean from that 185.7 into 187, but then the opening range top did what it did and started selling again. If I get back into Palantir, I'll wait for it to retest the volume weighted average price. Like that was a pure breakout because there was a program seller there. So you get in, you get out, you wait for the next opportunity. If Palantir is going to go all day and get green, then usually you don't have any trouble getting back into this thing. So I'll look for the volume weighted average price. And AMD for Mike Lowry, wow, it just keeps on going.
Like Lowry.
Going and going. Another 1%. Where is this? Now it's $7. Is it $8? $7 away from NVIDIA's price. I think it was 5 trading days ago they were exactly the same, which was fun. It was like a nice little afternoon or something where these were exactly the same price, which is annoying if you're actually trying to look at both of them because it's easier to make keystroke errors that way if you're not paying attention close enough on your level 2. That being said, yeah, I still think, I don't know if I'll get back in. I missed that NVIDIA trade, and I'll go on over to show you NVIDIA before I finish with AMD. Yeah, NVIDIA came back in, and I had misplaced my stop. So I had my stop order. My intention usually is I'm sitting there. I have my stop order in case it breaks the high. So if I get filled, I already have a stop. And I can go on and look at other things. I had my stop at the wrong dollar level. So I got in and out at exactly the wrong spot. Flat trade, but it should have been in a VWAP. Now you're trending higher. NVIDIA wants to go green. AMD has already gone green. I don't think I go for the second short in NVIDIA the way that AMD is trending to set upside. I think you don't want to fight that trend. It's just way too strong as far as I'm concerned. So hey, at the end of the day, flat trade, but it's a fail for me on NVIDIA because it broke the trend and gave you that entry. Speaking of trends, HIMS still trending down, but now it's re-challenging that volume weighted average price. It was able to get some out, did not get to the low of the day, down 3%. But if we start breaking this downward pressure that we have, I'll jump out of this as well. Market looking strong, only 0.15% to the upside for the Nasdaq. That said, it has been all higher highs and all higher lows. It's a nice slow grind higher. It's nothing crazy. It's individual stocks that are giving you these moves, which is what happens during earnings season, which is what we're in right now. But the Q's struggling to take out that top. Once it does, don't want to get caught in those shorts.
No, I was going to say, you guys have a way of making your boy real happy right there. Thank you to someone in the chat that said we're sleeping on Eli Lilly. So, yeah, you know, we had recently bought some Eli Lilly there, and it's just a matter of time, I think, before obviously this name gets going one more time. So Eli Lilly still trying to do the best here, but huge move, upside 3%. I mean, back up to 645. So we're a little happier right now with our recent dip by opportunity that we had took there in Eli Lilly. So nice move, a higher rate there. As we talked about some of the, is it going to be Obi on the midday, by the way? Yes. Okay. So shout out to Obi. Right now, if you didn't get enough old boys on Friday, you're probably going to get some here today. So we say, hopefully, the healthiest of the healthy Sharif recovers from being sick. Today we shout out that you never know when you're going to get sick. I mean, especially in this kind of weather too. Like, you know, it's just the change of temperature. It gets super hot outside, and then you can even see people with respiratory. Not that Sharif has that. I have no idea what he has. I just hope he's feeling better.
It's brutal. Like, you got to be careful. If you have respiratory in the GTA, if you have respiratory issues, like, you got to stay inside. Like, my pops tries not to go outside at all in this nonsense, which kind of sucks. But you got to do.
People saying that maybe Sharif's on leg day today, which is
it leg day? It's always.
I don't know. Is it always leg day for Sharif?
He said live on the show, which I believe, that he doesn't take rest days or breaks.
Right.
And he trains like two a days.
Yeah.
Like 2 a days without any rest.
That's called not having kids.
No, but like just physically, I could never. I could never.
Well, you're not a machine.
No, like I was saying, that's an absolute machine if you can do that. Like 3-4 times a week, fine. But I also take I'll take like a week off of not actually lifting. I'll still do I might run, I might hop on the bike, but every few months I'll take a week off. Right. And it's just I just found that's what's best for me. But I was also I was known in high school as being rather injury prone. Like some people are just that guy. I was that dude that was constantly hurt. I was, Joe.
The guy's recovering from his Achilles.
We had 5 years of high school, right? Because we were the last to have the 5th year. And I had 2 track seasons in which I actually ran the full year. 2 out of 5. And that was my sport. It was sad. Let's get some breaking news from Adara. Let's break the market highs, because that will be more fun.
Yeah.
9 AMD. Yesterday we had Financial Times reporting that AMD and NVIDIA would have to pay 15% of their revenue from their China sales to the U.S. Now, apparently, AMD confirming that they have received their China AI export license for these chips. Apparently, the initial China licenses have been approved. It's unclear which approvals they're waiting on, but either way, apparently their initial licenses have been approved for AMD to send their chips to China. Keep an eye here on AMD. And we're still waiting here for Donald Trump to start this press conference. Back to you.
The world waits for the president. It's not the other way around. That's just how it rolls.
The world waits for the president. Yes.
He can do whatever he wants to.
Yes, and he has no problem telling everybody that either, right?
Nope.
So shout out. That's the way that's going to operate. Again, some outs right there. Palantir starting to go to the upside as well. IBIT down 120. I know you're in that one. We've been in many of the same trades here today. I'm still looking for more, obviously, as we continue to go out. But, information is the name of the game there. We had Coinbase and MSTR both trying to head to the upside again today, right? Coinbase is a pick that I've made at the beginning of the year. It hasn't really done that great, but it's done okay. There's Coinbase. This was my whatever that holiday, Jimmy Carter. Holiday there. We're long at 280. It does make a move to 430 just last week, and then it dipped down up 5% today. So that's real nice there for Coinbase. MSTR, again, another big trust over here. It's not a trust, but you might as well think of it that way. I believe they have almost 700,000 BTC on their books right now, MSTR. I have to double check that number. It sounds huge, but I think that is right. And again, here's that AMD and NVIDIA story, as both of them agree right now to give 15% of their China chip sales right back into, of course, and Donald will have no problem telling you this, right back into the U.S. pocket. So, that's a win. That's a dub right there for the U.S. government, and apparently also a win, as it looks like right now, for everybody trading now, because AMD's popping, and so right now goes NVIDIA. Okay, let's go over to Adara right now. It's 10:20. Let's get an update, but here goes the market again, guys.
Time for the small cap recap. Here's the IWM. This actually had a really nice start to the day. This first 15-minute candle, very strong. It's been a little bit weaker now, though. We're actually near day's lows around that 220 halves level. Let's talk here about JMIA. Not seeing any news for Jumia Technologies, but they have rallied in the past with a 7.8% short float, so not insignificant short float there. Then we have HURA, Tahura Biosciences. Sorry, I mentioned this one earlier. We did actually have apparently some filings showing that Representative Laurel Lee of the U.S. actually purchased roughly $100,000 worth here for HURA shares. Then we have BMNR, Bitmine Immersion. This is an Ethereum treasury play, saying this morning that their Ethereum holdings exceed $4.96 billion. So tons of Ethereum here for BMNR, consolidating your day's highs. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Adara, for that. Yeah, hit the like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. Yeah, there it goes. NVDA. We're just hoping that the other two chip names that we have can continue to climb higher. We are almost out of all of them, though, as Intel and Micron still continue to be that name here again today. Tariff impact really only today is in the chip space. We can look at Broadcom or other names like that. We don't necessarily need to keep on harping the same stories. But I remember when Broadcom was breaking $200, now $307. As Broadcom look at this story here, you want to talk about a stock that needs to be owned. Forget about whatever other chip name you're looking at. There it is. There's what Broadcom looks like, FYI, on that one. Nice move there for Broadcom. Just try to take out 310 now. I mean, that stock is just an absolute monster. AVGO. I was always wondering, like, why is it called AVGO? What is the, used to be, it's past, got bought out, so I forget what AVGO, maybe you guys know the story behind Broadcom and AVGO. All right, it must probably stand for something. Inflation Watch Tuesday, CPI data comes tomorrow. 91% right now of the S&P 500 has reported. So like we said, it's getting into that last 10%. Right now, over 80% beat and raise. On the overall market, and the S&P 500 right now sitting at 22 times earnings, so a little low, a little high for S&P historically. So the ways to get out of that might be looking at something like the VIX. We've talked about that a couple times here and how to get some different exposure. Rather than just sitting, of course, in equity, you can go over to the VIX and have a quick little look there and see if there's anything going on. This is what the VIX looks like right now. Down on the day because the Nasdaq is up, but there it is right here, floating back into the 14 or 15 $. I mean, this is a fear index. So if you are looking to gain some kind of help or protection against your positioning, we did have that spike up last week. It got this thing to 22. So you're long 13 or 14. You can quickly scalp out when you wake up and the market's getting crushed. Then you're okay. I'm in the VIX. Maybe you scalp out of that one, or you continue to hold it against some of your Mag 7 positions, right? It's funny. There's never ever. I was listening on the way in. I think it was Closing Bell or something. There's never been a time where there's been one single name. I mean, unless this goes. I kind of question it with GE or XOM or something, but there's never been a time when the index has been so controlled by one name, and I think it's NVIDIA right now, something like 8% of the S&P 500. So, the best names keep on getting better, it looks like, and there it goes right now, trying to break through 183. I mean, this is probably a long push right there, 183. Well, thank you, Neil. I hope that coffee, I have many napkins here as we get that spill, but that's okay. Yeah, just put it on there. Thanks, Neil, for that. No lineup, I guess, or better lineup, or you push people out of the way. Good. Thank you for that. But there goes NVIDIA right now breaking through. So there it goes, man. Now NVIDIA shares turning positive. And we were like, remember I was like, maybe we should have sell some of that. And then NVIDIA's like, man, you're an idiot. And just goes all the way back up to the upside. It's not just NVIDIA that tells me that, but 183.20, that past high right there, that might be a good breakout spot to try that long if you do like it. I was always looking at Palantir longs today, and unfortunately it was that break right there on PLTR that would have given it to you 185.50. Now you're up to 187. Watch out for that huge break long on 188 is what I was looking for on PLTR. I guess it can still go there, right? We're flat on the day right there for Palantir. That's 188. Maybe we'll put that order back in and see if it wants to go. Micron up $1.60. Do you want to update something before? Position board's not right.
I just realized
it's right for me, but you probably got out.
Yeah, I just realized the position board's not correct. At no point did I ever get out of HIMS. So
okay.
I never covered HIMS. I was shorted underneath VWAP still, and I actually ended up reloading underneath the volume weighted average price. So I don't know if maybe we have to flip it. Not really sure, because I just took a fill. Like I just got filled on the bid of IBIT, which I'll get to, and then there in front of 50 even on HIMS. But IBIT's coming right back into the downside. And this is with the market going up. So I said I'd wait for 68. All it ever gave you was 68 to 68.4, and it's doing this. It's doing a move right back into 68, but this is still downward trending, not looking like the strongest one out there. ETH much stronger. I'm going to take this out if it gets under 68, and then wait for the next opportunity over there in Bitcoin, back underneath that 120,000 mark. But you know what, everybody? Hey, you can see it right down under me and right in front of your screen. Trade the Pool's been here a while for us.
Yeah.
But they got something new. They've got the special ebook, which has 4 proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll see exactly how they approach the markets, how they manage risk, and what setups they rely on, so you can learn and grow from what actually works. Download it now by scanning the QR code on screen or hitting the link in the description. Big shout out to Trade the Pool. And let's go back to the desk. Dara's got something for us.
Just keep an eye on the market here. We do have the World Trade Organization apparently announcing that Brazil has launched a dispute with the WTO over these U.S. trade measures. So again, Brazil apparently launching a dispute with the World Trade Organization over the tariff measures pushed forward here by the U.S. Back to you.
Brazil.
The WTO.
Yeah, that's going to go real far.
Versus
shout out to Andre and everybody over there.
Yeah, not again.
Yeah, that might not go well for them, but who knows, man? Who knows, man? Bless you on that one.
Sorry, guys.
NVIDIA, again, trying to take out the highs. What are the names you guys want to look at? I mean, we did talk a little bit about Eli Lilly. Any direct news on Eli Lilly, Adara? I might have missed a story that you might have given on that, but it is straight up. I think it's just day 5 play or something. You know, obviously, I'm just joking about that, but we did have that huge move down there on disappointed earnings, although I don't think the earnings were that bad. What's up, Dave?
No news on Lilly. It kind of double bottomed around 625 if we want to get technical with it, and it seems to just be a day 3 earnings move.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks, Derek, for that one. As we dip bought in day 1, so far so good there. But yeah, we're gonna have to get that back to the upside. As a lot of people fearing right now that some of this has maybe been a little bit overdone to the upside, as we did not break through that 950 mark very strong. Came up there a couple times and now starting to fade back out. And of course, we talked about possibly taking the long side there on NVIDIA, and we didn't do anything about it. And there it goes now, NVIDIA just climbing higher, man. Great day so far today. There's no doubt about that, but some missed opportunities. Yeah, BMNR now finally going. Robinhood, Webull, all of those names going, man. Soundhound going as well. Soundhound's only up 17. I talked about that Soundhound being a good dip buy there as well at $13. Yeah, look at Soundhound right now. 30% short float. There it goes on good earnings from Thursday night, Friday. The names that everyone wants to look at, Neil just under his breath sort of said BMNR, and that's right there as well. There finally goes AMD with a big move there today as well, up 3%. Congratulations to that one. SoFi, I tapped out of this at 24, but did not get back in, so we still hold some shares on SoFi, so that's so far so good. You know, we've repurposed some of that money.
SoFi.
Yeah, get it, SoFi, up 3% as well. And then Open Door, 8% as well. Webull, 6%. So it's so far so good. Yeah, Open Door, nice move as well
it's
today,
alive.
Up 8%. Yeah, some of these stocks just need to wake up, actually. You know,
this one's waking back up again, back over $2. Open, that's what you're waiting for. The short sellers have got to be getting nervous again. Look, the short sellers have been awoken, I think, on Open Door. But remember, like the recent story with Open, of course, was that they regained compliance, right? Didn't have to, you were able to cancel and not have to do a reverse split because you got over $1 and you stayed over $1. The hype train might have, I guess, trailed off a little bit, but if you're looking for a squeeze play, you always want it to break a resistance level.
I dabbed up Ramin and then she threw water at me.
Sometimes you just got to throw cold water on.
Yeah. No. Me and Ramin did like this, and then when she put her hand away, it's okay.
It's only water. It's thankfully water.
It's all good. Right? Someone's got to clean the floors around here anyways.
As long as you don't spill.
Ramin, I'll get that afterwards. Don't worry about it. Reef might get mad if you don't update those TikToks. You got to get over there and get going on that ASAP. No, thanks, Ramin, for that. Glad to have Ramin, Fabian, Andre, and all of that. What's up to Joey? Just as like he wants more shares in Ethereum, of course, as we all do. There as that keeps on going higher right now. DraftKings, as we get ready, I mean, NFL Week 1 finally upon us, preseason Week 1 wrapping up, so that was pretty good there. Shedeur Sanders, probably the biggest story.
Thanks a lot for the trade we made.
Why? What happened?
Because Tajay Spears got literally carted off the field.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine, but
it's only an ankle sprain. No, Sean and I made a trade in our fantasy league. I have Pollard and the handcuff is Tajay Spears on the Titans. I make the trade. Like hours later, the dude is carted off of the field in a preseason game with a high ankle sprain. And that's the NFL for you, though. I mean,
yeah, I'm not. you know, and then I traded that pick away anyways. So we'll
You
wait.
traded the pick like 10 minutes
I'm
after
actually
our
really
deal.
surprised that there's
surprised you-
that there's so many trades in our pool because, as you just mentioned, man, once the season, here comes Randy with more coffee. Once the Neil went, my guy.
My bad.
That's okay. No, thanks, Randy, for all that. Oh, we'll just take. Yeah. I was gonna say there's so many injuries in NFL that it's like I'm surprised everyone just trading all their picks away. Because anything can happen.
I'm winning now, man.
Early on. No, I don't. I know that, but I just mean like some people don't have very good depth, and they're just trading for the best players, and you hope they hope to have a good draft. We draft next Saturday.
No, this Saturday.
This
Saturday.
By next, I did.
Early draft for us this year.
Yeah. So I have to miss a game, but that's okay.
You shouldn't miss the game for it.
It's okay. I want to go to the draft anyways.
I know it's like all
I
high school buddies
sacrifice.
get
I
together.
sacrifice. You know.
But
what it is.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Not everybody is going to be showing up this year though. For
Yeah.
our draft.
I know.
Which is,
Okay, so I'm just playing around.
why is SoundHound going up? Someone just asked. Hope Richley asking why SoundHound is going up. When it's getting squoze, just let it
squoze,
squeeze. Which, by the way, is an actual word.
Yep.
I remember the first time it got said on the show, I'm like, that's cap. I didn't say that's cap. I said that's nonsense. It's not an actual word there, but it's
come on.
Landenberg Thalman upgraded the stock from neutral to buy and raised its price target. Oh, did I just read it out? Sorry. I know Radera was going to come with it, but Radera was going to cover, but it looks like just an upgrade, and that seems to be scaring some shorts. Nice bounce off the volume-weighted average price here. SoundHound is also a big-time. This was already a breakout on Friday. You know why I'm upset about this? This is what grinds my gears, because it looked like it was breaking out on Friday on the earnings, and then ended up being a bit of a chop fest. It gave you some moves, but the real breakout then happens. Day 2, day 3. Sometimes that's where you got to go, which is reminding me that I should take a look at what was my best stock on Friday. Ooh, Rocket Lab's down 3%. That's what happens to you, Rocket Labs. And when you fail these breakouts, like it was a good, don't get me wrong, like Rocket Labs on the open on Friday after their earnings, like that was a clean breakout from 48 to 50. But even I said after the fact, like it was a better short if you had shorted it instead of gone long. Like if you'd shorted that move into 50 as opposed to just taking $2, it then dropped $7 from the highs and popped again and then dropping. In a strong market, it looks like Rocket Lab's having some trouble. And it's not just them. Remember you had Voyager, not very good after that IPO. You had Fly disappointing on the IPO. It looks like these space names, Fly's up 3%, but that just dropped heavily after that IPO for a couple of days. So yeah, those space names not looking as great as they once were. Adara.
Really rough look here for Ford. F. This one already down in the day, now pushing even lower. The company announcing they're planning a $5 billion EV investment with a focus on low-cost models. Apparently, the goal of this is to help make EVs more affordable for consumers. Either way, the market does not seem to like this. F, making a massive move to the downside after announcing their $5 billion EV investment to focus on these lower-cost vehicle models. Back to you.
Okay, I mean, I think lower cost EV models make sense to me. I mean, if they can't make money on the higher end models, you might as well stick to what you've been doing.
I mean, it's just such a tough road. What's the term? Tough road to hoe.
Yep.
For Ford.
What'd you call me? Oh, tough road to hoe. My bad. Yeah.
No, you're trying to make a transition, and you're trying to catch up at the moment where the market got the hardest. For these names. So Ford, GM, it's nasty looking reversal here. We got to go over to Ethereum apparently. No, but Ford.
Look at BTC,
Ford
baby.
just going nasty. BTC up to 120.5. ETH just broke ETHA 32.65. I don't actually have Ethereum, so I couldn't tell you what the spot price is at this particular moment, but I can tell you Bitcoin well over that 120,000 mark. There's ETH. But it's super strong. 6% doesn't mean anything because it's a 24-hour market, but it still gives you an idea of the strength. Bitcoin just bounced off 68 to retake that high. Not as strong, but trying to go higher and higher. We like crypto this week, for sure, but it would be nice if we could actually take out some all-time highs, everybody. It's one thing to rally. It's another thing to truly break away. So ETH has gone through resistance, but not yet to those all-time highs. It's like 48 something on eSignal. Bitcoin obviously has a ways to go, but not quite as far. 123 change. I mean, depending on what exchange you look at, don't at me if you get it off by a couple dollars here or there. They're all different.
As Nehemiah just said right there, if you are checking for exact data, you might as well do it there on eSignal because they will chart every single thing for you, second charts, minute charts, Fibonacci for any sort of a technical indicator that you want as well, 24 hours on board eSignal. Make sure you do get them right now. It's a completely entitlement-based system. If you scan that QR code right now on your screen, you will get 1 month free. And if you're talking about, all this action here, tariffs, Chinese names, stuff going overnight, Blue Ocean, Moon, everything, eSignal right there, very capable of charting all of that for you. And again, this is ICE, so this is NYSE, and you can ask them, again, the Indian stock market, we've had Rahim Alani come on here and talk about how strong that's been with recent news there on EWZ, with NEWJ, with Brazil, ETFs, and so on and so forth. Grab all of those entitlements, trade all of those stocks with eSignal. It is your first month free right now. Yeah, these names just have no chill. So shout out to you in the chat, right there, Notorious Dinkelberg. Look what's going on with Advanced Micro Devices. I mean, this is just straight to the upside right now for Advanced Micro. Still going. They just laughed at that 15% tariff. It looks like basically that's what it means, a tax, I guess, on selling into China. But there goes AMD. And NVIDIA probably no chill as well, Dinkelberg, as that's all the way up to 183.50. These stocks just keep getting stronger, man, every single day. And I just feel silly not being just full boat into all of these. But always a risk, always a risk. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, just letting you guys know, it looks like Donald Trump's team has entered the building here for the press conference. They're all kind of standing unsure around the podium. In attendance includes Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. We also have attorney there, Pam Bondi. We have Kash Patel with the FBI, and then also Justice Dineen Pirro. We have yet to see Donald Trump show up. Right now, he's walking through the door, so it looks like this press conference is getting started. I'll give you guys more details as he begins speaking. Back to you.
They're probably just going to release the Epstein files, so that's probably what's going to happen. There. So,
I wouldn't hold our breath on that one.
No, really? Okay, all right. I thought for sure that's what was going to happen. I mean,
something tells me
you run on that,
that would be
so
hype.
Hopefully that will wind up happening.
But I think we're out of luck on that one.
Yeah, you might be. Who knows?
It would be an interesting twist of events. But an interesting twist of events, the market's still going up.
Yeah.
Who knew? The HIMS, it's still not showing me in HIMS, but I am still an IBIT. But HIMS off of VWAP, I did get tagged in front of 50. I'm just bidding low of the day, and Bitcoin continues to rally. But it's NVIDIA that's right back on the radar for me. Did not, like I said, I got in and out flat on NVIDIA. It was a keystroke error. My stop was in the wrong place. Good thing we didn't short the same price on the way back, because that was not the moment to do it. But it is now challenging trend one more time. That's maybe not the best way to draw it, but it's close enough, as we're going right into Friday's highs on NVIDIA. Super strong rally on NVIDIA. Just wicked Friday's highs. Thursday's top, though, still intact underneath 184. So as the trend reverse as far as I'm concerned, still looking for another shot to this. Back into VWAP would be the target if we break the trend here. As we go up to the desk, it's time to see what is happening elsewhere in the markets as we focus on the runners and the chips. Let's see Sector Watch.
Take a look here at this sector board. It's a pretty mixed look, I have to say. Energy and minerals pretty weak here. Utilities weak. Producer manufacturing weak. Consumer services has some weakness. Transportation a bit weak as well. DoorDash down about 1.5%. This is earnings day 3 for DASH, but Uber actually up about 1%. In terms of strength, there are some random oddball names that are doing really well today. Tesla buoying an otherwise weak consumer durable sector, and that includes a big hit to the downside right now for Ford after announcing some, EV investment. Health services also really strong, led by a 3% move to the upside in UNH. Health technology has some strength as well. Eli Lilly up 4%. This is its first strong day since that earnings report on Thursday. Consumer non-durables, though, a bit weaker. And then we've got sectors like finance and retail trade, both relatively flat. Electronic technology, as Neil mentioned a bit there, some chips are being really strong. AMD up 3%, Qualcomm 2%, Micron about 4.5%, Intel about 4.5%, but technology services a bit more mixed. Microsoft and Meta relatively flat. Google actually a bit down in the day, and then Intuit down about 4%. So super mixed across the board for this market. Let's see what the rest of the day brings. Donald Trump currently speaking about crime in the Washington, D.C. area. Back to you.
I'm not quite into it yet, but that's not a bad stock there, as we all pay our taxes, or we try to, anyways. Okay, so yeah, they're a Home Rule Act. Apparently, the military now going to be getting involved. Well, what's going on in D.C.? Is there riots or something? Like, what is?
I've been talking about the crime.
The crime is
and then federalizing. That's been the talk.
So now the federales are getting involved over there. Okay. Well, stay safe, everybody in D.C. Maybe this is trying to help you or not. I'm not going to claim to know anything about it.
Also, then the other talk was also to relocate a lot of the homeless population.
Right. Okay. So maybe they're going to be talking about that one. I know there's some social aspects in that one. So maybe we will stay away. Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick update. Position board, at least for myself, is still very incorrect because I've trailed out of IBIT. Because that made the high and then broke trend, and I'm still in HIMS. So really, just to give you guys an update, if you see, it still says I'm in IBIT at 68.09, but I did get trailed out of that one, just took the profit as it broke the trend back in, and then HIMS, I'm still short. It's only those two positions, and I've taken some fills, and it hasn't really seemed to change it too much. But going right back over to what's going on in the rest of the market here, Tesla, on not much of a catalyst, really, one of the strongest names that we'll see up that 4 points, really holding on to the top end of the range. It seems like Tesla is starting to get a little bit excited again. And we've talked about since earnings, well, it wasn't good, but all it's been doing is going sideways. And if you're not going to go down after a sales miss, and after what was some cold water thrown by Elon, literally on the call, he was saying it could be a rough couple of quarters. Stock failed to go any lower, and now it's breaking this wedge to the upside. This seems like it's a move that is headed back into the 360s. And a lot of times, if you start buying on bad, if a stock responds by buying bad news, then you should listen to it. And that's what we're seeing over here in Tesla. When they sell on good news, it's weird. It's like when they buy on bad news, it's a reason to buy. Well, if they sell good news, I find sometimes that's a reason to buy, but you have to be patient about it. An example of that might be the cybersecurity space actually caught a bid today. And everyone was sort of like, Fortinet, what the heck was going on with Fortinet last week?
Right.
Their earnings weren't necessarily all that bad, and it cratered. But hey, you hold a higher low and another higher low today. Maybe you try to fill in that gap tomorrow. So without even looking, I tell you, CrowdStrike catching a bid, Palo Alto catching a bid. The ETFs are catching a bit of a bid. They just need to digest it sometimes, and you let it calm down a bit. It wasn't like it was a terrible report for Fortinet. And cybersecurity, I mean, that's not going anywhere. They're definitely here to stay.
Oh, good. Yeah, I recently bought.
They look good.
Yeah, I bought some Pan W there recently, so we're
that's up this morning too.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to say we're kind of glad that that's been doing something there, so we're happy with that play. Shout out to my Palo Alto crew out there that's dipped by a little bit. All right, so Obi just sitting in the captain's chair right there. Oh my God, there's a fly right on my screen. I feel like if I smack the screen, maybe something there may happen. But look at Tesla today.
He just doesn't care.
Yeah, no, there's no. These flies are running crazy here right now.
They're so bold.
Tesla's going to take out this top man at 343. We had news that was like surrounding like not an absolutely fantastic story about lower sales there today, but Tesla right now trying to climb higher. In our morning note, we had written down here for Tesla, and again, shout out to everybody. Thanks Nimrod for coming through last week as well. CN, Chinese EV Post reported sales of the company's Model Y and Model 3 vehicles declined in China, declined in China. In July. So the company reported they only sold 38,700 units of Model Y, 15% decrease. I'm sorry if I'm just looking up here, I'm reading the numbers. And yeah, not great. So this number also represented a 40.79 month-over-month drop in Model 3s as well. So both models, Y and 3, not performing very well in China, but Tesla saying, That's nice. As that just continues to move upside right now. So a huge move there for Tesla. And look, whenever Tesla's moving, when we don't have too many stories here, I'm always thinking to myself, like, let's just break that top then, as the traders have gotten a hold of this, and it's now just moving on momentum and not necessarily on any sort of news. So yeah, it looks like Tesla does want to take this out. That could be a great trade. We only have 15 minutes left, but that doesn't matter. That could take 2 seconds to break through that level. So 340, 335 right now for Tesla, looking mighty fine on that one. All right, so we have less than 2% left of Micron. It's actually broken below. I'm actually just going to get out now. I feel no kinds of ways about this. Okay, now I'm feeling kind of ways. I keep on pushing the offer, and it keeps on going down. So we'll see if we can get filled there. I'm part of that at 58. You can guess which gateway if you want, but we are not getting filled there as that's pushing back down. Still 50 cents in the money. Micron is going to be my P&L number 1 trade today. And then we're going to get out of the way of Intel. It's down now here as well, down to the downside. So we'll have to wait to see what Intel's doing. I think we have to think about going short. Apple had a huge move. Only because the market's giving us this top. I don't know if the top is here, but when I look at some of these names like Amazon here today, we haven't looked at that yet, up to 221, and that's fading out pretty good off of a huge run that we've had recently there in Amazon, and that sort of came off on earnings last week, and then it battled all the way back to 225, and now your downside on Amazon down 0.4% against a market that's been pretty positive. So, thinking about what might lead the way, is it going to be the banks moving forward now? JP Morgan flat on the day, so we hold out hope that the banks can do better, but right now they're kind of just hovering around, as well as JP Morgan. Quick check on the breadth of Morgan Stanley, 143. Again, I think that's pretty flat for them too. Yeah, so just hovering around right now. Robinhood, if we're going to talk about new finance, that name was starting to tick higher as well today.
On coin?
No, 121 almost for
7%
crypto.
up for Coinbase. Now remember, you said JP, and the first thing I thought about was Coinbase, because the second the JP Morgan and Coinbase teamed up, it was like the high for Coinbase. It was just down ever since they announced that partnership, but bounce off 300. It's trying to take that 50 period back. Obviously, it's almost as if everybody that went into the S&P 500 instead of Robinhood is getting punished for it. Because if you look at all the stocks, the 3 or 4 names that got in there instead of Robinhood, Hood's at the highs, and these other names have been pulling back. But anyways, back right up with crypto. I'd love to see this regain that 50-period moving average there on Coinbase. But it's been weird for Coin because a lot was expected on earnings. They disappointed across the board, especially in the face of Robinhood doing what Hood has done. And Robinhood made an all-time high today.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yeah, it did. Wow.
Weeble's going, remember?
Barely,
so
it barely made an all-time high. Now starting to come back a little bit. The position board is still incorrect.
Joe just messaged me. He's never heard of Robinhood before.
He's never heard of Robinhood?
No. He's going to do some research. He's going to figure that out.
Obi didn't like it when I called him the hooded one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have. Oh, now it's correct. There we go. All right, it's finally correct because I got it a Bitcoin. There it is. Bitcoin a while ago, but HIMS is just off of the volume weighted average price. This is now the 3rd time off of VWAP. At some point, this could break out above, and I'll just jump out of the trade. But for now, it continues to hold. As the market's starting to come back a little bit, I wonder if it has anything to do with what's going on maybe in the dollar. Let's find out.
US dollar, you're doing a bit of a topping tail so far here on the daily chart. It is poised, though, for its 2nd straight green day, and this uptrend that I've talked about off of these lows looks like it's going to continue. Today was a bit of a boring day in terms of economic data in that we don't actually have any, but tomorrow we will get the closely watched CPI coming out at 8:30 a.m. Forecast 2.8% for the year-over-year print. Previous was 2.7%. CPI month over month, we're expecting 0.2% versus the previous print of 0.3%. Core CPI year-over-year 3% versus 2.9% expected. And then the core CPI month over month 0.3% forecast versus 0.2% previous. So what that means is all of these prints, with the exception of the month over month print, are actually expected to be a little bit higher. So let's see what ends up shaking out. These are, of course, just the forecast. We won't know for sure until 8:30 a.m. Tomorrow we'll also have some Fed speak later in the day. Fed's Barkin at 10 a.m. and then Fed Schmidt at 10:30 a.m. Back to you.
Ooh, more Fed speak.
My kid is at Yeah, he's at golf.
You said
camp.
golf camp, yeah.
Yeah. So here he is. He just sent this to my wife. He broke a ball, and I just responded, haha, shitty balls. Like, I gave him, so he just has a bunch, unless this is a range ball, which it could be, but I don't know. There he is, breaking a ball. Right there. He's going to be really proud about that. He probably thinks he mashed it.
He just
right?
Roy Hobbs that thing.
He just crushed it right there. But I'm going to have to get him a couple better ones. I buy the ones from Costco. They're actually been pretty good, those ones there. So, yeah, see, Marissa responded, Jesus, how hard did you hit that thing? So I'm going to say LOL. Talked on show about that. That's funny that we both said the same thing there.
As long as he hit it straight.
Yeah, he probably not. But
he should Happy Gilmore that bad boy.
That's probably what they're all trying right now.
You're gonna get that surgery done for him, maybe?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, gonna get that.
The
surgery.
little hip surgery.
Yes, the tendons there. Get that going. I didn't mind Happy Gilmore 3 or 2. I thought it was pretty good.
I had fun with it.
Yeah, I thought it. That's the thing. I think you have to have fun with it. Like, you're not. You watch that movie, you don't think you're grabbing like any sort of Oscars or anything like that, or any Adam Sandler movie. The best one for me, not comedy-wise, is
the Hidden Gems. Hidden Gems.
Yeah,
that was
a good one.
I mean, realistically, I'm not saying it should have won an awards or anything, but Hidden Gems was a really quality film.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
Great job.
Fun to watch.
He did a pretty good job acting.
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. What's Hidden Gems then? It's something else.
Hidden Gems is like my trading, but
there's something called Trust me.
There probably is something called that. Yeah. I mean,
and it's got to be recently.
Don't worry about it. You're probably right.
In my head. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. That movie is hilarious. You just have to know that it's not going to be as good as the original. What comedy movie is as good as the original?
I want to see Naked Gun. Apparently, that's not too bad. It's not going to be. I'm just saying.
That's already out.
I think it's in theaters.
Naked Gun. The
new one, isn't it, guys? The Naked
it really?
Gun. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Something like that.
Leslie Nielsen. Those movies were like the Airplane movies.
He passed though, didn't he, Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. There's someone else is doing it.
Airplane is, for me, that's the number one. But then after that, The Naked Gun. I could watch just the sequence when he's the umpire a million times.
Oh, it's so unreal. It's like, obviously that's the whole point of it. It's hilarious, man. And OJ was in that. It was a great. If you haven't watched.
Nordberg.
I'm sure. Yeah, Nordberg. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it, depending on your age. I don't think. I'm willing to bet Obi has not, nor Joe. See Naked Gun.
Naked Gun, probably. No.
Clips, okay. Joe, Naked Gun. You seen that before? No, there you go.
It's
2 for 2 again.
No.
All right, so that was easy. All right, what's up with this, man?
On the rail.
On the rail is off the rail right now. Yeah, thank you so much here. There's $10. Hit my stop on Eli Lilly. I was down about 2K on Friday. Okay, so we'll hit fail on that one, but there he is. But stopped out over 3K today, so I knew that was coming. So there it is, man, over a 5K swing. That's what, hey. Traders got a trade, man. Congratulations on that one. All right, looks like you super chat the same thing a whole bunch of times, so I'll just like it. Thank you so much. $50 done right there. Thank you. I don't know if that's just one time or if it just got reposted all that, but
different ones.
I think they're all the same.
Yeah, but it's all.
It's all different, yeah. So anyways, thank you. I don't know if it's an error there, but I just want to say thank you regardless to that. So thank you so much for these super chats and congratulations. And I mean, there's reasons why, hair loss, weight gain and all that as a trader. I've been doing this for 25 years and yeah, it's stressful. You will have those days where you'll be down, X, Y, Z amount of money like you just mentioned there, and then you made it back the very next day and you sort of question life, and then all of a sudden it becomes very, very clear, and you sing a song like I Can See Clearly Now, and then you realize that you should not be singing at all. But yeah, that's life of a trader as we go on. Fabian, how's it going?
And I love our community,
Same.
But I keep it as real.
That's
Cool C, Friday to just as funny as Friday, in my opinion. I have mad respect for Mike Epps, but no. You can't, there is zero comparison when you don't have Chris Tucker.
We're not talking about Freakier Friday.
Without Chris Tucker, it's not possible. It's not possible. Mike Epps is hilarious, Joe.
We're not taking Joe's opinion on actors,
but he's
remember?
not the same. It's just not the same thing as Chris Tucker.
It's not the same thing as Pierce Brosnan being James Bond. That was a quality. That made all the other James Bonds look foolish, quite honestly, Neil.
Yeah. I don't even want to start with that one.
You don't want to attend that one, okay? No. Yeah, Rush Hour 2. See, once you get into all these sort of crazier names, there probably is a few that will wind up working.
Like what? Rush Hour 2 better than Rush Hour?
Jackie Chan. I don't know. Those kind of slaps, like those kind of like, I don't want to say slapstick, but like those kind of funny, but like not really funny, like those kind of shows. Like I never know what's like Rush Hour 1, 2, 3. All I know is that Home Alone 1 is still the best, as opposed to Home Alone 2.
That's easy.
That's easy. Although you get that famous Donald Trump scene, of course, in the latter. But
it hits different now.
Yeah, it does it. I don't know. Did it hit something for you the first time? Yeah, so that's that one. And other than that, opinion on what your favorite Star Wars is of all time? Because I know that you actually have an educated opinion.
I go Empire is 1.
I think is that.
And then Star Wars, the original, is tied for number 2 with Rogue One.
Is that chalk? Like there's a lot of people think
most
Empire?
people would say Episode 4 or 5.
Okay.
And then usually it goes from there. But I think Rogue One's just as good as any of those.
Okay.
Rogue One is an unbelievable. It's just high quality.
And then your favorite James Bond. I know. You can take. We can talk about this
That's
after.
a tough one.
We can get this on the after show.
My favorite one has more to do with the memories surrounding it.
Right, okay.
Like my pops and I probably watched License to Kill more than any other movie. We saw it in the theater with them as well. My brother was there too. So like that's the one that like I always want to go back and watch.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it's the best movie. And it had Timothy Dalton, by the way. Just before we go back, we only have 3 minutes to go.
So not Pierce Brosnan.
But we have reestablished the volume weighted average price on IBIT, so I'm back in. They pulled us out, and now they pulled us back in. Scarface is a great movie. I think it's.
If they made a Scarface 2, I think they're all a little bit too old right now. But
I think what you need
get some
to
Michelle
do,
Pfeiffer back in your life.
Scarface 2 is Scarface 2. Scarface was originally a black and white movie, and then they redid it in Miami. That's a movie you could make again and just change the location and change the character.
Yeah, Pacino could be like an older kind of like boss guy or something.
By the way, the position board, it's not updating. I think that's the issue, because like you guys had to refresh
I'm flat. Yeah, I don't have anything anymore.
Yeah, so like I just got in on VWAP on IBIT here, and it's not updating. I think it was the same thing as before. Anyways, I'm back into IBIT at 68.3 as it holds on to, as it hangs on to the bid. Al Pacino, you said Al Pacino. Someone in the chat goes Al Pacino. Remember the dude from Tropic Thunder?
Yeah. Well, what's his name?
No, that's his name. Al Pacino, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
Anyways,
you're the guy that remembers all this
400
stuff.
years.
I barely remember.
God,
anything.
I love that. Booty Sweat was the name of the drink in.
Someone owns 25.
That thing.
Booty Sweat. Yeah. Come on, why have to go there?
It's his Phi Delta 45.
Yeah, go take that one. Someone's got a big position
I have
over there.
25,000 shares of
$100,000
BBAI at $4 cost base. Nervous about earnings. Any recommendations?
I have one.
On a hedge, buy puts?
Oh. No, I was going to say my recommendation is sell some of your position. You know, like whenever you have $100,000 into something, and I don't know what $100,000 means to you or to anybody else, but if you are nervous about something, there's so many other trades like all of the time that you guys can trade, right? I mean, it's not just because, you know, you're excited about Big Bear AI and the potential there, as I am. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to nail that one on earnings. So I would just like, they're still not making any money, but, you know, there is a squeeze on there. Is a 30% shortfall for Big Bear AI. So I love it because you and I have the same cost basis there at $4. It's been quite the run up there for Big Bear AI. And I mean, I was pounding the table, I hope good enough to get some people involved. And I know that there are a lot. We get a lot of super chats about Big Bear AI, and I'm glad for it. And I'm glad that we had discussed our plan of action for this trade. And for right now, it's looking great. I mean, we bought it on the way down 3 times, 5, 4, 3. And then just very, very simple. Like I said, simple man. I'm not using too much to figure that out other than price. And we got some out at 850. We did that live on the show. We also got some out at 650, that first little bump up right into there. And now we're trying to hold that level. So for me, Big Bear AI is always going to be something where you're waiting out for that earnings report. You're going to see if they can kick it into full gear there. I'll have to look at what the numbers expected are. We'll do that, you know, during the midday, and then we'll come back to talk more about this, you know, on our afternoon show. But yeah, Big Bear AI, you know, we're going to wait to see what that expectation is. And for me, I don't have a huge expectation other than the fact that it has a huge short float and you're looking for it to make money. And we know what that means when these stocks finally turn EPS positive, and that could be a huge runner. So congratulations on your position so far. But you look like, you know, you've almost doubled up. You've got $100,000 in this name, and right now you've just made 75 grand. So I don't know, again, what you're comfortable with, but I'd be happy taking 20% off and letting the rest ride. It's 11 o'clock, Neil.
Did we do lunch?
We did not do lunch. People want to know what's up for it? All right, let's hit the button. You have it up.
I have it up.
Let's go. Yeah, you take it.
I wasn't sure if you had done lunch.
No.
But I don't know this.
Okay.
Chicken adobo.
Yes, that's Thai. We had that before. Yeah, it's
Okay,
pretty.
so Thai chicken.
It's Filipino.
It's Filipino.
There we
okay.
go.
With steamed jasmine rice, steamed broccoli, yay! Chef's choice salad as well. Oh, broccoli is good for you, everybody, but not necessarily my favorite. And we'll get a salad. Which
This broccoli will be good though. It'll be steamed probably, or
yeah, it'll be good.
in the stir fry.
Yeah, steamed is probably the way.
We'll take it.
But I know somebody that cannot possibly hate on that one. Can you, Joe? See, there he's got a smile on his face. You can always tell whether he's going to like it. It's not beef stroganoff, but it is going to be tasty. You guys have a tasty treat? Obi joining Joe.
Oh.
Right about now, because we'll be back at 2 o'clock.
So it's Joby.
It's Joby.
Okay.
Yeah, Joby Aviation.
Trade.
No idea what
trade
that's
those.
been doing today, but I can't beat that combo.
I'm out of here.
Peace. We've had this before. I guess
Yes.
this doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the boom, but what's